Aloha, friends. Welcome back. Welcome back. It's author Joe Holt. What we have for you today, a live podcast we like to call Fireside Chats. We light the candles, we invite a special guest, and we get to know a DLive streamer on a more personal level than you'd probably normally get to know them. We talk about streaming, we talk about LINO, we talk about DLive. But first, special guest, Cincy. Welcome, friend.
What's going on? What's going on? How y'all doing?
So Soul's already in the house, man. You reminded me of something that I need to get into real quick, which is I need to turn down the alerts on Tidy Labs. I do really appreciate your guys' donations, every single one of them. But during the interview, we do not call out follows and donations because it tends to interrupt the flow of the conversation. So I'm also going to turn down the alerts just so it doesn't interrupt the flow. But I really appreciate every one of you being here, and especially my boy Cincy. How you doing, friend?
Doing great. I'm chilling, hanging out. First podcast ever, and I'm excited to see what we get into.
Wow, man, I had no idea. Well, welcome. I actually got your name from my boy So Smooth, who was my very first guest ever on Fireside Chats, and I forgot. I hit my head too much. I found you last night because you actually came into Chicky Poo's stream, and he was one of my latest guests. And you dropped a Ninja Genie, and I was like, wait a minute, I know that guy's name. And then I started talking to you, and you're like, So Smooth is my boy. I was like, oh man, that was like 20 podcasts ago.
That's insane that he was your first one because I had met So Smooth. I want to say way before I even came close to like not even 200. Well, no, maybe a little bit. I'm not sure how many it was, but I just always scroll through and try to find the new people, and I found So Smooth. He looked like however his layout was so amazing, and went in there and saw that it was just him and his wife having a conversation, and I thought that was so genuine. And just kept telling him, I'm like, dude, keep doing what you're doing. You're gonna do great. And look where we are. He's a partnered freaking DLive streamer.
Yeah, it was fun too when we had him on because he's like, well, my kids, he has the two twins, 1-year-old daughters, and they were in his lap, and he's like, sorry if they're being a bother. I'm like, dude, this is why we do these.
Right.
We want to get to know your kids and your wife and your dog and your, whatever you want to talk about. Like,
right, exactly.
Like you're clearly a professional gamer, and I say that loosely, right? I don't know that you go to tournaments, but I mean, like, you're a hardcore gamer. You've been doing this for years. You own more games than I've ever seen, even at like Blockbuster for sale. Wait, did I just say Blockbuster?
Blockbuster?
Or whatever you kids are going, GameStop, whatever.
Whatever it is now. It's funny that you say that because I was actually a professional Halo 2 player.
Nice.
In 2008 or 2007, 2008. It tried to. Of course, my mother was not about that. Video games was not. You don't become a video game professional.
Right. That's not a job.
Right. It's like, get a real job, and now look at it. Thanks, Mom. They're making millions of dollars. I'm just kidding. It's crazy. It's just crazy how much it's evolved. I mean, when I was playing video games heavily, Halo 2 was the game, but you weren't getting $3 to $4 million a tournament between people. You're only getting 50 grand or 100K at max for championship. So it's just crazy how much it's evolved. Yeah, it's insane.
What was your name when you were a pro Xbox player or a Halo 2 player?
It's funny is I was Cincy Soccer 06, and I got that name because my mom, when she bought an Xbox for all of us. It was the family Xbox, so I wasn't allowed to like make it myself. I don't even know what name I would have came up with at the time. So she wanted a community or family name, and I could add my twist to it. So my family, my mother and father, met in Cincinnati, Ohio, and I liked soccer, and my favorite number was 6. So I made Cincy Soccer 06, and then over the years, everybody's just calling me Cincy or Kinky or Chincy or whatever it is. So I've always been Cincy, even though I've never personally lived in Cincinnati. That's where my family's from.
I was gonna say, are you from the Natty or?
That's where my father's buried and all that stuff. So yeah.
Nice, man. So the first question we always ask is, about your gamer tag, but I think you just answered it.
Yeah, I mean, it was nothing exciting. I mean, like I saw Violent Hippie story or watched Violent Hippie's podcast with you the other day, and I'm like, man, everybody's got cool stories. And he's gonna ask me about mine, and it's like, well, yeah, it was just made.
Well, no, no. See, I don't ask because I think it may be a cool story. I ask because it's always personal,
Yeah, and
right?
it is, and it's always different. Nobody has the same story. It's like it's crazy.
That's what I mean. So I don't think that your name is any less important. I think it's incredibly important.
Well, I appreciate that. It is. It is to me. I wish I could have Cincy everywhere, but unfortunately, like that's taken. I know the guy on Xbox. I've been fighting him for almost 5 years. I've been like, yeah, how much do you want for it? Just give me the account, please.
I feel you,
Like,
man. I feel you. Like a lot of people are like, wait, why are you such and such one on Twitter? And they're like, because somebody took my name.
right, right. And you go and you try to figure out if you can like make your like I went and made everything Cincy HD, and then I get to Instagram and Cincy HD is taken, so I have to put an underscore. And my OCD ADD is like, no, you're not having that. You need to think of a whole new one for every platform. It's like, but yeah, it's
Exactly. No, I feel you. Like my nickname's Aloha Joe, but everything was Aloha Joe until I got contacted by a radio DJ who had copyrighted the name Aloha Joe and was
oh
threatening to
man,
sue me I was like, okay, yeah, I don't need that noise.
yeah, no, absolutely not. And well, I would hope. Well, from what I've seen, nobody bigger than myself uses the name Cincy, so it's that's pretty cool.
Well, you can actually check, just a note for anybody listening, you could check with the Copyright Office and see if your chosen name is copyrighted before you put all the time and energy into using it.
Right, and I also did too last night. I checked Cincy.tv isn't taken, and might be wandering down that
Get
path.
it. Get
Oh, I
it.
just realized I don't even. Yeah, I know I need to get it. I haven't even have chat open. Do now.
Yeah, I actually just bought authorjoeholt.tv and forwarded it to my DLive domain, so that's
That's
awesome.
freaking awesome, dude. When I clicked that, I was like, no way, no way. Do we get that? And of course, my brain wasn't thinking, oh no, you got to buy that. So I like tried to do my name. Oh man, that
Ghost,
hit.
thank you for the follow. Fad noobs in the house. Now, my boy Bad Doggy, you see, just joined. That's my real life brother. He did all my graphics design. He helped me set up OBS.
Yeah, I meant
Yeah,
to follow him last night.
and he streams. He streams, and he's used up to 4 cameras at once, which is like beyond my
Wow.
brain power. So, evening, friends. All right, so look, Sensi and I are both just easily distracted,
This is gonna be
tangential,
interesting.
ADD, like right. Okay, so if you guys can help us keep on track, we'll love you forever.
Yes,
All
we
right,
will.
so question one, Cincy, because your family's from Cincinnati, you've used that name for a long time because of a family
Mhm.
Xbox. Second question, it's a two-part question. First part is, what got you into streaming? And the second part is, how long have you been streaming?
Um. So honestly, I don't know what. I used to watch TV a lot, which is now Twitch. Way before obviously it became Twitch, and I don't know what really got me into streaming or what made me want to stream. I know I'd seen people do it, and when I was trying to do it, like 2007, 2006, there was no such thing as a HD capture card. There was no such
Hmm.
thing for console gamers to stream themselves. That was going to be working unless you paid a ton of money for it. So I never really did it until I think about when Xbox actually brought it over to where you can stream off your actual console, and I was like, oh wow, okay, I'm gonna run with that and see what I can do. And I mean, I was on Twitch for almost 3 years.
Hmm.
Could have become a partnered streamer, and I did everything myself. I literally rented an apartment, told my wife that hey, I want to try it for a whole year. Let me just use this room to do my streaming thing, and it was great. I went full time for 4 months, and my father and my dog passed all in the same time, and I lost my job. And I was just like, I can't do this.
Damn.
Yeah, and it was really crazy. I mean, streaming was great. Everybody was there for me, but I was drinking heavily, and that's what ended up killing my father. Was he was an alcoholic, and he tried to wing himself off of it, and after almost 30 plus years of drinking, you just can't do that. But yeah, so that's what I would do. I would get wild and crazy on stream or Halo Online. I played that during the time they said you would get banned if you streamed it, and of course I did a 24-hour stream because I'm ignorant like that sometimes. Oh, you're gonna ban me? Oh, well, I'm gonna stream it for 24 hours. But yeah, I mean, it's streaming like it wasn't something I really was wanting to do. It just that's what my ADD was like. Hey, yeah, you should do this, and yeah, it ended up working out, and then came to DLive, and
So,
loved it ever since.
so when you were a professional gamer, you were playing Halo 2, is that right?
Yeah, Halo. So um, Halo 2 almost into Halo 3,
Hmm.
pretty much actually the transition to Halo 3. I was going to like tournaments, events, MLG, like all over the place. But I was still young at that time. I
Hmm.
was only, I think, sophomore or something, or maybe freshman, and I got my grade point average was like probably 2.2 or 2.3. So mom was like, "You're not going anywhere, and you're definitely not going anywhere to play video games." So that's kind of where that ended. It was like, yeah, no, the gaming, the pro gaming career is done, and they didn't have online tournaments at that time.
Hmm. Well, I
You
was
had to
going
be,
to ask, could you stream at that time? But you said it wasn't a thing at that time.
it wasn't as big as it is now, as or as easy and acceptable it is now. Xbox
Hmm.
360 didn't have the option to do it unless you had a capture card.
Right, I remember playing a lot of Halo 2 with my kids. I don't know, maybe we played against each other. My clan was for glory or beer.
I'm not aware of that.
But yeah, I don't remember anybody talking about streamers or streaming at all back then.
Yeah, it was mainly the big tournaments, who's going to what, and well, it wasn't actually. There wasn't like what do we have now other than PAX East or TwitchCon
Hmm.
or all those. Though it was MLG. That was it. MLG was on the Speed Network at one time. It was the first time it was ever aired as gaming, and it was MLG Halo, and it was the coolest thing I'd ever seen. I would get so hype. I know about call outs, like I'm talking. Teams are communicating, and I was so interested in this, and I was so like intrigued by that. I was like, well, where where can we go to go do this? You got to go to California or North Carolina or all these other places. And no, it was unfortunately there was no streaming tournaments. It was just you had to go, and if you didn't go, then you were not known as a competitive gamer.
Now, how you said you've been streaming for 3 years, right?
I want to say
Or
three or
maybe
four.
I was going to say closer to 4 now.
Yeah.
How long have you been on DLive?
So I think since February.
Okay, and it's
Uh,
the
and
end
I
of
honestly
April.
didn't. Well, yes, almost towards. I honestly didn't come here to stream. I can't. I threw my streaming thing out. I threw it out the window. I said I was done. I didn't really want to stream anymore. I just really wanted to, because I tried Mixer as well, and I had buddies who left Twitch that were partnered, and they're partnered now on Mixer. And I
Hmm.
tried, the Mixer thing, and I'm like, I'm just done. I put so much time and effort into it. I'm done. I'm just gonna go. I'll be a moderator for people,
Hmm.
and that ended up changing when I got here. Everybody's like, "No, you need to be streaming." I'm like, "Okay, I'll stream," and it's done. I'm so glad everybody in this community pushed me to do it because I don't know where I would be if I didn't. There's the brother so smooth.
So smooth in the house. He gets a special shout out because he was
Yes,
the
he
very
does.
first guest on Fireside Chats with author Joe Holt. What's
Yes,
up,
and
brother?
that man is an amazing person.
Yeah, the chat is actually filling up with just incredible human beings. So if you guys are in here and you're like, I'm new to DLive, I don't know who to watch, you go through the chat, you click on these people's names and follow them, you will not be disappointed.
Absolutely.
True story. So you've been on DLive since February. That's February, March, most of April, 3 months. Excuse my
Almost.
ignorance, but did you just make partner?
I
I don't
did.
remember. Okay.
I
It says I'm new.
Speaking of, I actually so when I got here, I met Slick Rick Gaming. I forget how. I just know that I went to his channel, and somehow we met, or however we connected. And he has this thing called, he calls his group the Pricks. It's not a team, it's not anything like that. It's just they just raid. We just go into free. This was before anybody was even close to 200. Everybody was at like 50 followers or almost at 100 followers, and it's like, all right, well, let's all get together, let's push them to their 200. And I'm like, yeah, I'm so down for that. Well, then it got to, okay, well, I'm gonna go in and drop ninja guineas, and it just got obnoxious with the ninja guineas with me. I started just throwing them out there, so I became this. Oh, he's a donator. He's Rick's personal donator. I was like, no, I'm here to support, and we just rated. That was all we did. We got everybody to the 200 so they could push to get their partner application in. And yeah, if it wasn't for Slick, I might not have been known in this area, but that was the thing. We just rated together. We
Well,
rated a
like
lot.
I knew about Slick Rick Gaming because of the raids that he does, but I
Yep.
found you because of So Smooth.
Well, and that it was about the time frame where I started to go in, when we were all raid together. I was like, well, why don't I just raid by myself? Like, I didn't stream. I was just, I'm gonna go find people. I'm gonna go find people that I've never met before on DLive, and I'm gonna go talk to them myself. And So Smooth was one of the very first people that I went into his channel for the first time and just started talking to new people. And that's I ended up doing that every single day, probably 10 to 20 different channels. I'd go in and say, "Hey, welcome to DLive," and I wasn't partnered. I wasn't anybody. I was just supporting everybody. And yeah, that's pretty much how I got myself in the situation I'm in now.
Which is
Everybody loves me, and I love it. I
okay,
lo-
okay.
and I was like, I'm not, nobody big. I'm just like everybody else, and I love everybody else too. It's just the thanks and welcomes. It's like, no, man, I'm with you on this. Like, I want to, you support me, I have to support you. That's how I feel.
Well, and people often ask me how I choose guests for this podcast, and they're like, "Oh, you only choose partners, or you only choose what?" I'm like, "Have you looked at any of them?" We had a guy on Burb who was on for 4 days. We have people who chat. We have people who play retro games. We have people that are battle royale, right? Like we've
Right.
had artists. I go, there is no rhyme or reason except one. When I find
Right.
people that are loving on the community and supporting the platform and supporting each other, that's who gets to be on.
Yeah, and that's when you start seeing a name consistently, and then people, it's not you're not seeing a name because somebody's saying go. You're seeing a name because you'll go into someone's channel. You'll be in 18 different channels, and it's like, wow, I see that name everywhere. That's the person that I follow. Every time I'm in somebody's channel, whether it's completely, I'm just clicking a channel and I see your name, and I'm like, what? I just saw you here. Now you're here with this, somebody who's got 2 viewers. Those are the type of people that I follow. This is the type of people that I support. Because if I'm jumping from channels, I know you're doing the same thing. If I find you in somebody's channel,
Hmm.
nobody's heard of, and I think that's amazing.
When I first got to DLive, I was jumping channels more. Now I tend to find somebody and stick in the channel for hours, right?
Right, and
And
that's what I'm doing now. Is I'm trying to, like, all right, who do I want to continue to keep watching?
yeah,
Uh,
exactly. Because there's so many, like now that I've been on DLive for since January, there's so many
uh,
people in my following, like over 300 people, and I'm like,
right,
how do I watch 300 people? Well, you
right.
can't.
And that's what I've gotten to too. I'm like, man, I love all these people, but now it's like, well, I know them somewhat, but I don't know anybody like I want to because I support so many people. So now I'm trying to spend more time in each individual person's channel.
Well, something that I could tell you that I've learned that's helped me, and it's not because I was doing it before, but it's because DLive recommends it, which is spend more time on social media, right? Especially
Right.
Twitter and
Mm.
Discord. So while I can, like, if I go into a channel, I try to stay. I don't just pop in, say something, drop LINO, and leave. I try not to ever do that.
Right.
So what I've found is I can go on social media, hit up 100 people, do it in 15 or 20 minutes, and then go spend an hour or two in one channel. And I
Right.
still, spreading that love.
Yeah, and I 100% agree. Except for with my ADD, I say I'm gonna go to 100 million different channels, and I get so wrapped up in the genuineness or the organicness of somebody's stream that I don't leave for hours. And I'm like, well, okay,
Yep.
that was fun. But I love it though. It's great. It's the fact that you can literally make me stay in your channel without even knowing you're doing it is a
Yeah, exactly. Like I went in this morning to Sean Hawk's channel to
oh
chat with
god,
him.
I'm in there for hours.
Well, he's going to be on the podcast on Wednesday.
Yeah,
And
great.
so I was just kind of chatting him up real quick. I was just going to chat him up real quick, right? Nope, like 4 hours later.
Exactly, and that's the hardest with Sean, man. Just tell me, you love that he's from Scotland. He loves that. I'm just kidding. Don't do that. He's an
Yeah, yeah.
American.
I was like, he's not from Scotland.
I know.
Don't say that.
He gets so triggered in his channel, and it's funny. But no, I love Sean Hawk. I actually received my first ninjet from Chicky Poo. I guess from it was the day that the platform would release the ninjets, and
Mm.
I was so overwhelmed and so happy that I received it. Not even 15 minutes later, I gave it to Sean Hawk.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, that's a beautiful thing. When we need to get into that, we're going to get into DLive and Lino specifically, but
Right. Okay.
we're going to have to work. We're going to have to keep each other focused for a minute, buddy.
we're tree branching, and that I knew that was gonna happen.
So yes, there's questions, guys. I've seen a few questions and stories you want to bring up. We do a question and answer segment towards the end. We also talk about DLive and LINO just before that, but we're still talking about my boy Cincy. So I would like to ask the only personal piece of information that I ask every streamer, if you don't mind sharing, what's your first name?
Casey
Casey, K or C?
with a C.
See, now I have to ask because
Yes.
with the K wouldn't be your name.
No, it wouldn't. And yes, my name is. I go by. My real name isn't Casey Jones, but I had really long hair, and my theme was to be Casey Jones from the Ninja Turtles, and I kind of ran with that for a while, and it was pretty cool. But yeah, so I go by. You'll see me on any social media platform, any platform. I go by Casey Jones.
And I'm a huge fan of the Ninja Turtles. Just so you
Yeah,
know, I'm 40, so I grew up with the original.
I grew up off the Batman stuff, but the Ninja Turtles were in there here and there. It wasn't like most people are, though. I couldn't tell you every character.
Yeah, I don't remember anymore. There was something
Um,
about pizza. There was a big rat. There was some turtles.
yeah, pretty much. I actually don't even know the whole story about how the Ninja Turtles came about, but that we could trickle down all the way down that path as well.
Yeah, I'll say I'm pretty sure we're getting distracted again. So,
Um,
so we've talked about a little bit. We, in some of these streams, we talk about mental illness. There's a lot of streamers that struggle with depression and anxiety, social anxiety. And that's why they want to stay home. Would you like to delve into that? I mean,
yeah,
does
yeah. Let's definitely go down that path because a lot of people are like, "Wow, this guy's on drugs," or "Wow, this guy's freaking. He's got so much energy." Um, I personally, of course, my mother will say that's not a thing. ADD doesn't exist. It's just you don't care. You don't want to. That's what she's always said. And as I got older, she's like, okay, she's got his attention span is horrible. Um, I that growing up, I was horrible in school. I repeated grades. I repeated seventh grade. I repeated freshman year in high school. Almost didn't even graduate from high school. School was just not for me. If it had to do with writing, listening, and reading, I didn't want to. I didn't want any parts of it. Um, so I barely graduated high school, but I did because of my mother, and I appreciate her for that. She pushed me to get my high school diploma, and I ended up doing that. Was never on like any ADD medication. Um, Never did any of that stuff. Like it was just literally push. And then I found this love for everything I'm doing now, which was hands-on labor. Pretty much doing things with my hands. And because of my ADD, that's why everybody's like, "Well, how do you have all this stuff? What do you do?" I'm like, "That's just me. That's what I do." I literally, if I pick something up, I have to play with it or I have to figure it out. If I don't know how it works, I want to see it. I want like, all right, well, what does it do? That's how my brain functions, especially now streaming. Everyone's like, wow, this kid is all over the place. Yeah, I have 3 monitors. You can only imagine.
I feel it too with my 3 monitors. I've had to turn one off during these interviews just because I'm like, ooh, shiny thing. Ooh, shiny thing.
Yeah, I want to give a shout out to Kway right there. That man right there is my brother from another. I met him a long time ago, playing video games, playing Destiny, and he's been around since pretty much my father passed. That boy supports the hell out of me, and I support the hell out of him.
Quay 516.
Yes,
I'm
yes,
gonna have
yes.
to drop him a follow, man. Anybody? Wait, hold on. That's your boy, and he has 0 follows.
Yeah, he's not a he's a super.
Zero, zero.
Yeah.
Not even you. Not even
Oh my
you.
God, not even me. Oh man, he
Forget
just
it.
got here. He got here yesterday.
I'm his first follow. It's too late. It's too late.
Man,
It's too late.
it is too
It's
late.
too
Oh, and
late.
Ghost. There's Ghost, little boy. I told him to get over here and show his BR. He's a crazy battle royale player. I'm like, get off Twitch. I love Twitch, but get off Twitch. Come over to DLive. We'll support you. Anyways,
So do you think that the ability to we'll call it the ability to multitask. Do you find that your ADD is a benefit for streaming?
yes and no. Because I feel like I have ACD OCD, where it's like I want to stream and I'll start my stream, but as soon as I get into OBS, something's not right, and I will start my stream, and as soon as I start my stream, it's like, oh, this picture's off by a little bit, or this image is off by a little bit, and it hurts me because people will come in and be like, wow, he's just editing his channel, and I'll do it for like 2.5 hours, 3 hours. So I'm like, what are you doing? Just stream. So I mean, you saw a smidget of that yesterday, to where I was, so distracted. It's good and it's bad. It's good content, but it's like bad content at the same time. So yeah, it does help. It brings a personality to your channel, but it doesn't help you if you have OCD as well.
Wait, so ADD and OCD?
I wouldn't call it major OCD, because I don't have OCD to where like everything has to be perfect, but I'll get into, I call it my father's side of me. My father he used to heavily drink and then wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning, play his music, and make everybody, it was like, instant. He's like, all right, cleanup time. I'm like, Dad, what are you doing? You just like got heavily wasted last night, and now you want to wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning and clean. So I get it from my father. I'm like, okay, everything needs to be organized. Whether it's cluttered, I'm like, everything needs to be organized, even if it's cluttered.
Well, I don't know how much truth you want to get into in this podcast, friend, but what I found was I used to be super OCD about things, especially like the way things would be on the desk. And I
Yeah.
realized the more I tried to like nitpick all the little things around me, it was because I didn't feel like I had control over my life, like internally.
That I think is where it started. For me is, I never, I was always letting everybody else do it. I mean, oh yeah, I'm here, I'm there, or whatever. Like I never once say that I was a leader in any sense, and I still don't think I'm a leader in any sense. Um, I always say my life was in a downward spiral. I mean, even the tattoos on my body, I did originally. It started all that because of an attention thing. Because I wanted
Mm.
people to notice me. Like the bird on my neck, I picked off a wall
Hmm.
after a really bad breakup, because I wanted to be cool and like, oh, he's got a neck tattoo. It's like things like that. It was always a downward spiral for me, and I didn't think still don't say I really have a lot of control over myself. Um, but yeah, it's definitely, it's a curse and a bless.
Dude, any time you want to talk, you hit me up.
Well, I appreciate that. I do. I really do. And I've noticed too, a lot of people on this platform do definitely offer that, even without saying it on stream, or like yourself. I'm sure we would have gone through this without the podcast. You and I would have long, hour-long conversations.
Yeah, it's
Um,
last night even we could we almost did a podcast last night on your stream
yeah,
because
I mean, pretty much. It was true.
just I could tell I'm like, all right, I got to talk to this guy. I mean, I'm covered, dude. I'm covered in tattoos too. We're
Right.
not, we don't need to get into all that, but
Right.
I find like, no matter why you got the tattoo, it's a part of your life and it came from a specific memory.
Right. And it
And
tells a story. Oh wow, you are tatted.
yeah, you shouldn't be so quick to dismiss it. Like, I think it's incredibly important and it's a constant reminder of what you've lived through, right?
Right.
And a big part of why we do these podcasts is because I've been an author for a long time. I write other people's stories and the human condition. And every
Wow.
time I meet someone like you, I'm like, this guy's an incredible human being. I know you've been through the ringer. You can just tell it right in your story. And I was like, people, there's so many of us out here that are like struggling and we feel
Right.
like nobody knows what we're going through, right? And you feel isolated and depressed and not, and it's like, no, dude, you're one of the many, many, many of us who have those struggles, and we can love on each other and support each other. Then why wouldn't we? Why
Right. And then I think that's my biggest thing as well too, is um I and it's not even want to call it sympathy, but it's like I don't want anybody
empathy?
to,
It's
or
empathy.
empathy, sympathy. Like I just want. I'm like, yeah, man. I may have struggled in my eyes. I lived my life. I wouldn't say struggled. Yeah, it was rough. But I'm a military brat. My father was in the military for 26 years as a medic, and I'm number two of five. And we all lived in a military housing and all that stuff. And it's like we all different, but I would never ever want anybody to show me like that kind of love or compassion in my channel, because that's all I want people to know. You know what I think it,
Mm.
you know what it's like. I don't want people to come here and be like, oh wow, this guy's his life sucked. It's like, no, I want people to know that they're not alone in the things in the life that they do, the paths that they choose or whatever. You just have to accept the fact that that's the way you're going to be, and that's who you are.
Absolutely. I mean, what's cool about this sort of conversation is you're being very open and candid about some of your struggles. And now if somebody comes into your channel and you're gaming and you're not necessarily communicating this sort of conversation, they still know and have that like kinship with you, right?
Right.
Go ahead, and you'd be willing to talk about it, I'm sure, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So after my father passed, but I'm going to talk on this because it's always something I try to just throw in there once we're talking about my life. I never really ever got to thank my father for the stuff that he did. I graduated high school in Germany. I was born in England. I was in middle school in Japan, and I went to Kuwait as a government contractor myself when I was 21.
Hmm.
And if it wasn't for my father showing me that to not be afraid of the world, I'd never be where I am now. I'd be the person that I am now. We weren't as close, of course. I mean, he had 5 kids. Yes, he was an alcoholic, but when he passed, it was like I had so many questions that just were unanswered that I feel like will never be answered because I wanted to ask him. And I try to explain that to people. Like it's sad that he passed. It was only 2 years ago. It's just it's not the fact that it's because he's in a way better place by far. It's just it's like all the things that you wanted to ask or had to ask are now gone. You can't ask those things. That's it. So and that's what made me think like, hey man, maybe it's time for you to actually step back and take a look. Like what do you want to do, or how do you want to send yourself? Do you want to mope around on it like my older brother does? He's just like 100% just won't accept the fact that it is what it is. It happens. Life has happened. There's no controlling it, and you just got to keep pushing forward. You just got to, or send a message, just like, hey, this happened to me. And I've noticed too. I've met a lot of people in this community that we didn't even know their fathers has passed or their fathers are locked up, and it's crazy how the reason we bond is because we bonding off of certain life situations that happen that way, but we took it in a positive direction.
Sure, absolutely. And well, let me throw this at you. So
Hmm.
the type of questions that you would have liked to have asked him, I'm sure you have your own opinions and takes on them. Now would be your chance to record your thoughts on these things.
Well, I mean, I think the biggest questions I would have asked him is what did you know what I mean, we've talked. We definitely like, he was still my father. It's he grew up without knowing his real father, and I didn't find that out until almost I was 18 years old. Um, but it's just like my main questions were, it's like, what do you want from us? What do you want from the 5 of us, or do you know? And like, I don't know. I mean, I do have a kid on the way, my first kid in August. I'm having a baby boy, and it's like stuff like that. It's like I can't ask my own father now. Um, you know, you, I don't know how to ask the questions. All right, I don't even know how to say the questions.
Well,
There's just
let me put
so
it.
much.
Hold
Hmm.
on. Let me give you a second just to think about it. So I have two sons, and they're now
Hmm.
19 and 15. And
Wow.
when my 15-year-old was 2, he actually drowned and died and was dead for 10 minutes. And they brought him, an off-duty police officer brought him back to life. So
Holy cow.
in a very dramatic way, my life immediately was changed overnight, right? Everything I thought was important, I realized wasn't, right?
Right.
And so I started paying more attention to the moments, right? Then when I moved to Hawaii and I started trying to get my health and mental well-being back, I was writing every day, and I realized after a year I was out swimming and I saw someone die like in front of me, and it struck me very like suddenly, what would I say to my kids, or what would I leave behind for my kids? Because I didn't know my father growing up. I was in the foster
Right.
care and stuff. I met my father as an adult. He's an alcoholic, and it went a long way into why we ended up in foster care and stuff. So I started thinking about all that, and that's why I actually wrote my first book, was to give to my children, not to publish publicly, right? So you
Right.
actually have a very, I said all that to say this, you actually are in a very unique position because you have these wisdoms before your child is even born.
Yeah.
So I would say don't worry so much about what you and your father might not have had. Instead, embrace what you did have and use those lessons to develop a positive relationship with your child.
And that's exactly, you hit it nail on the head. I mean, that's exactly what I've been explaining to people. They're, oh, well, are you gonna raise them this way or this? I'm like, I'm gonna do exactly what my father taught me to do, and that was my father told me I couldn't come home with this, and that, you couldn't have tattoos, you couldn't do this, and that made me the person I was today. Is telling me no all the time makes them do things that they didn't really even want to do or didn't really even want to think about doing. If you just did it because I was told I couldn't, and
Mm.
I don't want to do that. I don't ever want to, if my son wants to, obviously if it's reasonable, I'm not gonna be like, no, you can't go play in traffic. Uh, like if that's what he wants to do, if that's what, everybody's like, well, of course the gay conversation came up. I'm like, if he wants to love another man, he's my child. I will support that. I don't see any of that, none of that stuff. I'm about, what do you want to do with your life? Whatever he wants to do, I'm 100% supportive of it, and it's not going to change who I am or who he is.
Exactly. All right, so we're gonna get back a little bit to more streamer centric conversation.
Yes.
I have not been able to watch that many of your podcasts, or not podcasts, streams. Sorry, I'm the podcaster. So I noticed you were playing a zombie type game last night. What type of games are you? A variety streamer? Like, what do you like to stream?
So oh man, I used to be competitive as heck. Like, excuse me. Like I used to be very, very competitive. Fortnite, Apex, Halo, obviously, Call of Duty. I was all about running gun, being, yelling, screaming, being that person. My ADD was perfect for it. I'm all over the place. I see everything. Now, as I'm getting older, I hate it with a passion. My little
Hmm.
brothers always, they're like, "Hey, let's play Apex. You gonna play Apex?" And as soon as I start playing, I'm like, "No, I want nothing to do with this." I honestly prefer to play scary games that are pretty much campaign or story time games is what I call them.
Hmm.
Which Days Gone has now been the one I've been playing, and I love it. And on Fridays, I used to do this thing, or kind of still do this thing, where I play scary games. And I'm talking scary, scary games. I don't like it, but everybody loves my reaction. I had a recent one of my wife standing next to me while I'm playing one, and I had no idea she was there and scared the living tar out of me. But the community loves that, and they're all about uh, me getting scared. So I was like, yeah, I'll do Friday night scares. I'm running out of games to play. That's the biggest thing. But no, I prefer story games now. But I used to be very competitive.
Have you played Resident Evil 2?
I have played the Resident Evil, and honestly, that stopped for me with, I think, the PlayStation versions of them.
Hmm.
I played, I think it was, I'm not sure which one. I think they were in Africa or something, and it was just so corny.
Hmm.
And Resident Evil kind of burned it down for me. Excuse me.
Yeah, I was wondering if you considered that scary.
No, and I had this newer streamer. He just got onto the platform. I forget his first. I know we call him Blue. He said he did Friday night scare streams. And I think he said he played Resident Evil 5, and I'm like, what do you mean scary? That's not. I'm talking. I'm talking. You're walking through a quiet. They intensify the footsteps of your guys. They intensifies the jump outs in your face. That's what I'm talking scary. I'm talking
Hmm.
extremely obnoxious scary. But no, I don't consider Resident Evil scary.
I don't know if I have the constitution to play games like that.
And unfortunately, I don't either. But that's what they want to see, and that's what they're going to come and watch. And I do enjoy, trying to figure it out in a sense. But my ADD is already bad, so imagine that in a game that's supposed to scare you. So now I'm getting sidetracked and forgetting that I'm going to get scared, and now it's like, oh shit, I'm going to get scared again.
So what?
So,
Okay, so for frame of reference, name like one or two games that you consider freaking
so,
scary.
and then a lot of people don't even know about these because I didn't know about them until I asked my community. The worst by far was Emily Wants to Play is the name of this game, and it is about, you're a pizza delivery guy and you go to deliver this pizza to this house, and there's these dolls that are scary, and you walk past them and you're supposed to look at them or not look at them, and if you don't, you hear them trickle. It's called Emily Wants to Play, and it's very scary. It's very it's obnoxious, I should say.
And what would be a second?
Second, like, I don't recommend it if you are, under the age of 25, because it's very bad. But it's called Welcome to the Game, and it's about you being a hacker and the black, or being a, forget what you are, but you're something, and you have to find this black web, dark web stuff, and you're
Mm.
looking through web pages, and it's just really, really, in detailed stuff. But it's also scary. It's scary, and
Mm.
you have to run from the police. And but Welcome to the Game was, my ADD was not. They're like, this game is almost impossible to beat without cheating. I'm like, yeah, you're right. Like, I was so frustrated with that.
Dude,
But
so
it's one of those.
I'll tell on myself, man. I don't watch zombie movies. I don't watch scary movies, right? I don't like no. But I played Resident Evil 2, and I'll be honest, I was scared. So I
Well,
probably shouldn't play those other games.
no, and I when people say they play jump scare or scary games, I'm like, no, I don't think you understand the level of scare as well. Like I'm playing Visage right now, and this was found through the community, and that game is by far it's literally those games where I'm in that game right now. I have a camera. There's no lights on. I have a camera, and the only way for me to see things is to take pictures with the flash.
Oh
And
no.
there's this demon that's yes, that's those are the types of games and everybody's like, "Oh, you have to play it." I'm like, "Do you realize what that does to somebody?" But okay, I'm gonna play it because I love
Yeah, man.
it.
Somebody's referencing Soma. Do you know what that game is?
I've heard of that. Or everybody wants me to play Okie Dokie Smoky Club. I can't play that. It's an anime, but it's not really. It's like a jump scare, but it's not like that. I've heard of Soma.
Now, I
Uh,
noticed on your Twitter page, there's a picture of you in a room with like every game ever made for Xbox. Like, what did you want to talk about that?
so I I'm an Xbox ambassador, which means I'm I think a 12 or 13-year member, and it means that if I comment on a forum for Xbox, what I say about the platform is truthful, and I'm a trustworthy source.
Hmm.
That's all the ambassador. It's kind of like an affiliate program. You don't really get anything except for praise. So I've always been a huge Xbox. Like I'm a Xbox fanboy till probably the day I die. So I was always big into that, but everything in that room, I have a huge collection of things. Is from my childhood. Actually, it's
Hmm.
from my mother and father bought my family Nintendo 64s, bought me PlayStations, bought me well not me, bought my family. It was everything was community owned, and they had stored it in I guess just in one of these storage areas for many years. And when I moved out to do my streaming thing, and I came across it. I asked my mom if I could take it and set it up, and back in the day, me and my older brother used to sell things all the time and sell it to GameStop or whatever the case may be. And she's like, "No, no, you're gonna sell it. You're gonna get rid of it." I'm like, "Mom, I'm not gonna. I promise you, I'm not gonna sell this stuff." And when I set that up, it was actually one of the bigger moments. My family started to trust me again. They're like, "Wow, yeah, look what he's doing with this stuff." And it's so all of that you see behind me, except for maybe 15 to 20% of that was my family's growing up. Everything on there has I've literally played all that stuff, even down to the controller. Still blood, sweat, and tears from my childhood.
Well, it's awesome. I'm a huge fan. I was looking at the collection of boxes on the floor too. You've got every Xbox ever made and a couple of some
Yep.
of them.
And that those now the ones that you see that the boxes, everything that were the boxes are there. I purchased myself.
Hmm.
I was very big on if I wanted something, I don't want it handed to me. Well, which wasn't handed to me ever. It was earned in my family. If you got something, it was because you earned it. And that right there was my showing myself that I earned it. And it became materialistic things, but I enjoyed that. So yeah, all the boxes you see in that picture are the things that I purchased myself as I grew up.
That's awesome. So,
Mhm.
all right, so let's talk about DLive. What's the difference that you found streaming on DLive that is different than say Twitch where you were for years?
Well, of course, first and foremost, the way that it is. There's never ever once been a platform that's what is the word that they use? Um, it's about the community. I don't remember what it's like the community or the streamers create or whoever we created the platform or it's more about us. It's not about Twitch, or
Right,
it's
it's
not about
about supporting creators.
right. And that's the main thing.
Hmm.
And everybody's like, oh, okay, every platform says that. No platform has ever done anything near what DLive's community and what the DLive platform has grown to be, like DLive. And that's what's really got me here is the community. What really made me start streaming is well, of course, the community on this platform. But like DLive is just so one, your LINO. It's a crypto, which is new. Nobody's seen that. They're like, oh, it's like bits. It is, but it isn't. You don't get paid for them. Bits are just on that platform. You couldn't cash them out for anything in a sense. They're just it's a platform's currency. With the LINO or with the ninjas, the lemons, and all that stuff. It can be shared, and it's crazy. It's just the platform is crazy. you could never take your sparks, or you could never take your bits from another, from Twitch or Mixer, and give them to another streamer while you're streaming, ever.
Hmm.
And I love that. I love that I can literally stream. I see somebody who's, like last night, it's Joe Mama came in and he was just spamming the triple piece dinner, the ice cream, the diamond, and the lemon,
Hmm.
spamming, 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 and I loved him for that. And right when I ended my stream last night, I saw that there was a streamer sleeping in his car, and his alternator had went out, or whatever his case may be. I guess he has a long story about YouTube and whatever. And I gave him all 5,000 Lino. I was like, man, I hope this helps. I just dumped it on him, as I just felt like that's what, he needed it more than I did at that time. Hopefully he can figure out a way to, get himself back on his feet. That's what I love about this platform, is I can do that. I might not have the money now, but somebody supported me. Screw it. Here, you're gonna need this more than me in the long run, and I love that about this platform. There's no waiting. I can literally turn around and help somebody else within 5 minutes.
Yeah, and you can receive donations the very first time you stream.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah, absolutely.
but just to be clear about Lino, it is not a cryptocurrency yet. It is on
Correct.
a
Yeah.
test net, and it's a
Right.
fixed price, 1.2 pennies per.
Right.
So legally speaking, it's a private currency, but there is a plan to take it to a main net, which would then fluctuate the price based on supply and demand.
Correct. That's what he said. That's that's what I was getting at. Yeah, that's the biggest thing too. It has the potential to be worth even more. And
Mhm.
the big question is, oh, it's a scam, or it's whatever, whatever. I look at it as, okay, say someone comes in and drops a ninjet on me, and I choose to wait and hold on to that, to maybe possibility that it goes to mainnet, or the DLive community or creators decide, hey, we're just going to run with all these people's money, or I can cash it out now and receive the $106 or $107 from that. Regardless, I look at it as, I, I never personally, that was not even my own money to begin with. So whatever happens to it, it's not at a loss for me. I was given to me. It was always be considered free. And so, if you choose to do whatever with it, you got to think it's not going to hurt you in the long run, because you didn't have it regardless of being on the platform.
Yeah, and we haven't really talked about that on a podcast yet. There's been a bit of talk about, is this a scam with Lino
Hmm.
on with DLive, and I've never publicly addressed it. But since we brought it up, I would like to just say this. Well, a scam is people trying to trick you out of your money, right?
Right.
So when DLive doesn't take any cut out of the donations. You get
Right.
90% of the donations immediately. The other 10% gets returned to everybody with locked in Lino.
Right.
So if it was a scam, they would be taking some of that money, right? They're
Right.
not. Number two thing is, um, if somebody gives you the money and you can immediately give it to somebody else, that's not how scams work, right?
Right. Right. Exactly.
Like, and you can invest in the company. That's not how scams work.
Right.
You can cash out the money, and people, I know plenty of streamers who pay their bills with money that they earn
Yes.
on DLive.
Absolutely.
That's not how scams work, right?
Right.
So it's like this isn't
That's it's like everybody's like, oh, well, we saw a YouTube video. It's like, okay, well, you just got scammed, because now you're watching something that somebody clearly doesn't
clickbait.
understand. And
Yep.
it's like, now you're getting scammed because he's, or so and so, or whoever has brought so many people to come watch this YouTube video. Now he's made money off of you. So it's like, you just
Yep.
got
You
scammed
just got
by some.
scammed.
Right. And it's like, at the end of the day, what the reason we're here on this platform is because of us. The Lino is just the plus.
Yeah, I've like you and I were talking about this a little bit before the interview, so I hope you don't mind me talking about the Lino we've bought and all, but
Yeah.
I've made 100,000 Lino. He's made about 70,000 Lino, and we've given 100% of it away. We both
Yep.
have locked in Lino that we bought ourselves and locked in because we want to support the company. But like, there's plenty of people on DLive who aren't here for follows, they're not here for subscribers, they're not here for Lino. We're legitimately here because of the community.
Right. Yeah, that's the only. Everyone's like, well, aren't you worried about the Linos? The Lino, I love, of course, the ice cream and the way they're doing it, but it's a plus. At the end of the day, it's a plus. If you ask any other big streamer that, or I wouldn't even consider myself big, but somebody who streamed on another platform, Ask them how many bits they got from Twitch in their 3 years, or ask them how many bits they got from anything for that matter. Me personally, nowhere near the amount of LINO I've received, and that's just a plus. At the end of the day, we're here because we want to stream. We're here because we love I love the community. If I could turn off the LINO, yeah, maybe sometimes I would, because it's not about that. It's literally about the support system. The LINO is just a plus. If whatever happens at the end of the day, yeah, if the LINO goes away, that's cool. I will still be on DLive because of the community.
Yeah, exactly. It was funny when you and I were talking too. You're like, so clearly you have experience with streaming, and I'm like, nope. I just started
Yeah.
streaming last month on DLive because of the community. And the reason that I can stream the way I am is because number one, my brother Bad Doggy, I paid him. He's a professional streamer, and he helped me learn how. But number two, all the little questions I had about like
he said
OBS and streaming. Yeah, I don't pay him. I just call him.
he said he pays me tech support calls. Wait.
Yeah, no, I call him. He's like, Cameron's tech support. How may I help you?
That's
Because he
funny.
knows.
I feel his pain because I'm the same way with people, but I refuse to get paid. I'm like, yeah, if I can help you,
Yeah, do you hear that? You hear that, doggy? No.
yeah.
No, but I mean, like I've had so many questions about DLive, about Tidy Labs, about Discord, about OBS. There's so many things to know if you're a new streamer, which I am. And the DLive community has been like one after another helpful.
Yeah,
I
and
could,
that's I love that.
I couldn't even give you a list of people who aren't helpful because I haven't found that.
And I 100% agree with that. I mean, I haven't met anybody. I mean, whether it be all the PUBG Mobile guys, like Dabs plays in his community. Like I have an iPad, and I was like, what? Who plays PUBG? How do y'all even do this? And he showed me things on the on the iPad on how to set it up, how to claw it, how to do all that. And I actually enjoyed playing PUBG Mobile on the iPad after he did that. It's like stuff like that. It's little things, or how to set up your OBS, or some people will come in and say, "Oh, my stream's going crazy." And I'm like, "Well, let me see what I could do." I've literally, I think 3 or 4 streams stopped my stream, or not stopped it, just in the middle of it, gone and helped somebody else with their OBS to set it up because they didn't know what they were doing. It took me less than 10 minutes. It's those kind of things, having past experience um, with OBS and having nobody to ask is the most painful and crucial thing I don't want anybody to ever have to go through. Setting up OBS alone, YouTube will not help you. I promise you.
Yeah, I couldn't have done it. And just another helpful tip for anybody listening, if you're on Discord, which you need to be if you're on DLive,
Yeah.
you can do video calls and voice calls on Discord for free, and you can also share your screen. So like my brother Bad Doggy, I shared my screen and he walked me through setting up OBS and could see exactly what I was doing while I was doing it. And that was very helpful.
Yep, that's what I did with two. I did that with King, and yeah, I agree. I think if everybody continues to be the way they are, and I have seen a lot, and a lot of people we supported, the community supported, and they turned into a whole different person, and now that person's irrelevant. I love that. It's
Hmm.
like everybody's genuine, and if you're not, and you show your colors, the support system will go away. It really does. And I love that. It's like, all right, everybody is here for each other. At the end of the day, everybody's here. They're honest. If you have full-time streamers, or hey, I'm cashing out my LINO, I'm not locking it in. People are honest, regardless if you have to looking that up. It's like, yeah, this is what I have to do. I'm doing this, full time. Go for it. I support that too. Like, it's not about that. It's about the fact that we are all here and we're supporting each other, and I love that.
Exactly. I mean, I couldn't have said it better, to be honest with you. There's
Yep.
the so let's switch to another gear because it's something that's been happening recently. Obviously, we've had DLive has a contract with BeautyPie to bring over the largest private audience of any
Mhm.
social network on the planet, and that has created a huge influx of new streamers, new streamer styles, new viewers. Right? What's
Mhm.
your opinion on the increase in web traffic for DLive, and how do you
So,
feel about it?
well, I ever since I started streaming on Twitch, I don't even watch. I watch, for some reason. Me and the wife fall asleep to Forensic Files. I don't know why that puts us to sleep. I guess maybe it's the guy's voice. But literally, I don't watch Netflix. I don't watch Hulu. I don't do anything else. And I've been doing this for the last 2 years. I go on YouTube and I watch everything. I watch Twitch fails. I watch Twitch, people in the Twitch community, how their lives, and same with YouTube. I've watched a lot of different YouTubers. PewDiePie, of course, is one. Me and the wife bond off PewDiePie, and I love it. I love that they're here. I think it's amazing. Yeah, of course, it was toxic in the beginning, but welcome to the internet. That's gonna happen, especially when you have that big of a following. I think what he did is amazing, regardless of everybody saying if it was for LINO or whatever. PewDiePie is in competition with a mass corporation, and it's one person. He did it himself. He created this YouTube channel and made himself the most subscribed individual in the entire world, and it's amazing. And I think what he did is great. Just some people have to understand bringing over, they're going to bring over, like, I know Sam Pepper. I know about Sam Pepper, and I know about all of the CX gang. And if anybody, please don't spam that in the chat. I know everything about that community, and I know some of them who want to be away from that, because there was a very toxic time for all of them. People getting raided by SWAT, all of that, coming over here and actually being genuine. I'm streaming. They're doing their IRL thing by themselves. They're coming over here because they're like, wow, this is a real support system.
Mhm.
And that, getting away from stuff like that and coming over here is amazing. And I support it. Everyone's like, oh, they shouldn't get their verified partner, mark without meeting the quals. Me personally, Sam Pepper has 2.2 million subscribers on YouTube. I think him bringing over an average of 100 viewers a day, regardless of what time it is, no, he most certainly 100% earns the partnership, regardless of the time frame. He's put in work somewhere else. Yeah, I get it. It's not fair, but it is. And at the end of the day, he's done this somewhere else, and he brought people to the platform, whether they choose to watch somebody else or not. It's bringing viewage to the platform, and I think it's fair to give them the respect and whatever they need, whatever they want in that sense, the check or the check mark. But no, I think it's great. I think it's great that PewDiePie's doing what he's doing, and I hope that it continues to bring more so we can learn as well. We can see what they're doing. We are learning from that. That's all we're doing. Is we can't hate them for coming over here or doing whatever. We're gonna learn from them too. You might see something on their stream that you've never even knew you could do, and now you're doing it because you saw it from that.
Exactly. I mean, I didn't know you could stream live on a cell phone until I saw it being done.
And that's funny. I made a YouTube video about that because everybody asked me in the beginning. I think I was one of the very first people before PewDiePie even got here to stream from my car, because I did it on Twitch with Streamlabs OBS, or the mobile version.
Mm.
And I've dealt with it, and I did a little, it's really scuff, video of the live stream from DLive and put it on YouTube because everybody asked me to. And oh, there's my wife. Casey wants to be like Mr. Beast, support people and make their day. So I do, and I would love to be Mr. Beast. The only problem is I can't do it. And with my I don't have any sponsors that pay me. I don't get any money from anywhere else except for what I've worked for. So if I could, absolutely, I would 100%. If I made $1 million right now and it wouldn't, I don't need it to continue to pay my bills or whatever, I would give. I really would. I don't need $1 million unless it is to live. I would give it away.
Well, and that's actually a good point to bring up. A lot of us that have had, I'll just say, challenging lives tend to be quite giving, right, and caring, and so, a lot of times to the point of self-deprecation, right, where it injures you. And so I think it's important to say, don't buy LINO that you can't afford to buy, right? Don't go into debt. Don't take away from your family's table.
100%.
I mean, I've done it. I did it early on, and then I was like,
I did it too. I did it right in the beginning.
Yeah.
So it's like, and I mean, I did it, and at the end of the day, like, I did it to Enforcer J, but I gave his whole family a Ninjakini, and no, I was fine. It was just, that was extra, that I could have just put in savings or whatever. But I don't know. Some of us feed off of that. Some of us feed off of being so nice because we, maybe have never been seen in the limelight of being such a genuine or nice person. We also want people to know that that's who we really are, regardless of.
Yeah, sorry, I wasn't sure if you cut out there.
No, yeah, I was reading chat as well.
Yeah, so guys, we just want to say, like, if you're worried about LINO being a scam, don't buy LINO, right? If you're
At the end of the day, yeah,
if you live on a budget and can't afford to donate as much as other people, don't spend your money on LINO. Don't donate, right? Like donate what you can afford to donate. And just, but more importantly, it's not like most of us streamers, we don't need you to donate. You being in the chat, communicating with us, encouraging us, sharing your stories with us, that's what we want. That's what we're looking for, right? We'd rather have 10 people chatting with us than donating to us any day, right?
Right. And the thing is with that too is, I know a lot of people will come in and let's say they give you a Ninja Genie, or they give you whatever the case may be, and then they see you turn around and give it to somebody else, and they get upset with that. I haven't had anybody, but I have seen in other channels, they'll get upset. They're like, "Oh, well, I just gave that to you. Why'd you give that away?" It's like, because that's what I want. That's what I choose to do with it. If it upsets you, I do apologize. Don't give me any Lino, because I guarantee you, at the end of the day, by the time I fall asleep, the Lino that I received from my stream that day will be gone. Unless I absolutely need it. But at this moment in time, it's about like just the support. That's all that's really gonna make me happy at the end of the days. No money is gonna make me happy other than smiles, or some people who need it more.
Yeah, absolutely. So guys, we've been talking for a while now. We've seen a number of questions pop up in the chat as we've been going. So if you guys have specific questions for Cincy, or if you want to just troll him, tell stories, tell on him, that'd be fine. We'd like to embarrass him a little if we can.
Man.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm just teasing.
No, you're good. No, my Kevin and Ghost, they're all, and of course my wife, they all know how I am. There's nothing you can say ever that will upset me, because I will always have a rebuttal for whatever you're gonna say, and it'll get to the point where they're not gonna say anything. They're like, oh wow, okay, it's just crazy. People will try to be so bad that you don't really realize how bad some people's lives has got, that it's like, oh wow, you can't break this person. It's like, no, you can't break me. That's just how it is. That's just how, at the end of the day, it's how it is. We almost got who to cry.
Yeah, and to be clear, guys, there's a definite difference between trolling your friends and cyberbullying someone.
Oh, absolutely. And I hate cyberbullies.
Yeah, we don't. It goes against the community standards of DLive. We don't handle any racist comments, any sort of personal attacks, hate speech, cyberbullying. There's zero tolerance, and you'll get an immediate ban in my channel for it. You could come in and voice a completely opposite opinion to mine, and I'll encourage that conversation. But just don't be personally attacking.
Yeah, Bad Dog, you're right. You guys almost did make me cry. I can't believe you caught that. I was getting choked up. Okay, don't you worry about that. What Kev is saying is very funny. So there's a matter of fact, I hope he comes to this platform. I really does. I want Luda to get over here. I met this guy. His name is Absoluta. I met him through Kev and all of them. He is from Justin.tv streamer years ago. He's on Twitch. He's been streaming forever. And he came over. He's trying to come over to DLive. I saw that he made a little thing. Made an account trying to switch over. But the day we were all playing the raids on Destiny, for some reason, I don't know what it is. I can destroy people in competitive games. I'm great at everything else, but when it comes to jumping, any kind of jumping requirement a game has, it takes me hours to figure it out when it's something so easy, so little. And everybody loves that. They laugh, and I don't think it's funny. I don't think it's funny at all. I think I don't know what it is, but I just cannot jump. I cannot jump. Destiny was the worst for it. And when it came to a jumping thing, I was like, all right, I'm done. I never played Guild Wars 2 jump puzzles.
Yeah, no thanks.
Mm-mm.
Hardcore sucks.
Yes. It was hours. It was, oh man, it was many hours. It got to the point where I was like, okay, guys, I can't do this. Like, it's my brain has physically, I'm now incompetent. I'm done. It's like, I'm not doing this no more. All because I couldn't jump. That's it.
Yeah, I agree completely. That's so fine. I'm just reading chat, trying to keep up here.
Yeah, you're good.
So again, guys, we're looking for specific questions. If you have some specific questions for Cincy, I did notice in your stream last night that you have two dogs that seem to lay right next to you. Is
Um,
that the case?
so my wife, when we met, they're the two pugs, Edgar and Raven, are hers.
Mm.
I am not a pug person at all, by far. I was never a pug person until I met these two dogs. They are two different animals, completely different animals. I had a Chihuahua of 12 years. His name was Chico, and he was my gamer dog. If I had the door shut anywhere, it's scratch, scratch, scratch. He will scratch the door until you let him in, until I let him in, and he would sit underneath my feet. And he passed a year ago, April 10th. I had to put him down. They actually said they were surprised that he even lived that because I guess dogs go through something, or chihuahuas go through something with, I forget what it's called. But yeah, he passed, and it's it's hard for me to actually get my own pet again, to get my sidekick, because of how strong Chico was for me. Like, he was pretty much me, just in a smaller version. He was a little asshole. He was mean. He has all this might and all this fight, but he's just tiny. He was just a little dog. He looked like a mini Waltweiler, but at the end of the day, he was so loving and caring. Like, it was just all a show, and that's why I love that dog, is because he was exactly like I am. Like, I might look like I'm an asshole, or I might look like I'm coming off as a douchebag, but that was just a show. It's really what's inside. I'm all about loving and caring for people, and Chico definitely showed me that. But no, the two pugs, Edgar and Raven, are hers, and they are the funniest but coolest dogs I've probably ever met. Especially Edgar. He is just one big old. He will yell at you. He knows exactly what time is feeding time, and if you're 5 minutes late, well, you're not doing anything until that boy gets to eat.
Well, I would recommend. I rescued dogs for about 10 years and mainly Chihuahuas, and I'll tell you, you should get another one. There's plenty of them, and they got love to give. So let's
Yes,
see.
yeah.
Fun fact: me and Cincy have started about 100 games and have only completed about two. True
This
story.
this is very true. Kevin and I game share on Xbox, well, which means that if we purchase them on an account, and we make that account our home Xbox, we both get to play it. We can share that game. So him and I have been doing that, and we met online, and we've been doing that for, I think, 5 years now, and we've purchased probably every game that's come out, and we have yet to even probably finish one. Oh, we did finish one, and then I think that's it. But out of the probably 200 games him and I have purchased together, we have yet to complete one.
All right, so I'm going to read Dad Plays' next question, but first I'm going to preface it by stating the community standards of DLive do not want you to stream anything where you're promoting self-harm. Okay, now the
Right.
question is, what does
hmm
Cincy think about more streamers making drunk streams more of a thing than they should be?
Um, I'm glad he asked that, because I did do my first drinking stream. I want to say, was that, I might have been Friday or might have been Saturday, and on Twitch, it wasn't a drinking stream wasn't a thing that I did, you know, once a week. It was every day, and that was by far the worst thing I probably could have ever done to myself. And bring in that kind of, you're like, I, honestly, my opinion about the drinking streams is they should not exist. One, if you're doing LINO donations for drinking, those definitely should not be a thing. And two, if you're doing a drinking thing that's going to bring out a side of you that people just don't need to see. If you have a substance abuse problem, I think you should definitely talk about it and not stream about it.
Hmm.
And after that drinking stream I did, and I woke up that morning, I completely regretted doing it. Um, but it was one of those days where I was just, uh, I had one of my moments, and it happens. And I wasn't toxic in any way. I was just chilling, listening to music and vibing out. But when I look at the bigger picture, that's not what I want to be known for, because that's not what I am or who I am anymore. But I absolutely do not support drinking for donations, drinking for follows, doing any kind of, um, altering things to yourself while you're streaming. I don't believe in that. No, I don't think anybody should do it, and I don't think anybody should even stream it, even if it's entertaining. I think you should just leave that to, not live. I would say don't stream it.
Well, and there's just to be clear from like an objective standpoint, there is an option to select not safe for work, right? So if you're going to be doing
Right.
something like that, you could keep children from basically viewing that content.
100%
So I
correct. Even
think,
if there is an X tag, I think that it still should not be should not be streamed.
Yeah, and Dab, and that's kind of what we were talking about, Dab, which is he says it seems like more and more people are getting drunk while streaming, and I feel like that sends a bad message to young viewers.
I 100% agree, and that's why I said the day that or Friday that I did mine. When I scrolled through and looked at everybody else that was doing it, how bad it actually was on my part to even, even stream one. Like, even though I was just drinking and having a good time. I wasn't doing it for donations but it was in my title. It did say drinking and vibing, and I agree with that. I agree that it shouldn't be uh, you shouldn't be doing that anywhere. I don't care if it's here or if it's you should Facebook. You shouldn't be or Instagram. Going live. You shouldn't be drinking um, to let people see somebody that you're not. Some
Mm.
you're releasing. I had a very bad substance abuse. I used to do heroin and all those other kind of drugs, and that's not those aren't things not only for kids not to see, but you don't really at the end of the day want people to see that side of you. You're hiding things down, that you're releasing to your live stream. And I agree. I don't think you should do that. I don't think it's smart. If you choose to and you don't care to what anybody says, yeah, I get that. I'm not a saint for that. I've definitely streamed many drunk streams, but I don't think any life altering or substance altering anything you should be streaming. I think if it gets you out of your own mind of who you are, then you shouldn't be streaming it.
Well, yeah, and so also to be clear, we are adults, right? Most of us that are here, and so if I want to have a beer during the stream, I might do that, but I'm probably not going to tell you I am, and I'm probably going to have a beer, right? And that's
Right.
different than like doing donations for shots or something, right? Just to be
Right.
clear.
And yeah, and of course, I see a majority of DLive is older people, more not so much the younger crowd as I would say Twitch or Mixer might be, because of how easy they are to stream off your Xbox. That's why they probably are that way. But yeah, there's a lot of people on here who you'll see them sip something or whatever. But if your stream is 100% solely around drinking, I think you really just need to think about what you're going to do prior to you streaming it. And Dabs, that was a great question. And I do apologize for doing mine. I didn't realize until afterwards, even though I wasn't doing it for LINO, I was just vibing. Drinking was in my status, and you won't be seeing any more of those.
Yeah, and that's awesome. That so actually, if you don't mind, I'm trying not to ask this too personal of a way, but you
Hmm.
you said you've had some struggles with substance abuse. I can relate. I also have, especially with alcohol and in my younger years. What was your
So,
motivation, and how were you able to get past that part of your life?
so the only two drugs in my entire life that I've never tried is crack and meth. So that kind of narrows down everything. So a lot of people are like, no, there's no way. Now I said tried. I didn't say addicted to all of them. I've tried everything because that was just who I am. My brain at that time, as I was younger, I wanted to try everything. I was a person who was like, yeah, I'm not gonna say no. How I can't say no if I don't know. Just because somebody told me doesn't mean that's true. And I was a big person about drugs. I love to, if I was at a party, I'm drinking whatever the person had at the time, I'm taking it, whether it's three different types of drugs or it's one drug or whatever the case may be. Me personally, that was what I chose to do. I like to be out of body, out of mind at the time. And I didn't whatever anybody else, oh, so and so, he used to do it, or he got, you should stop. When people would tell me that, it wasn't going to make a difference. You couldn't tell me nothing. You couldn't tell me what you were or weren't, you couldn't tell me to stop because it was bad. It just wasn't going to happen. And I got my job offer to go to Kuwait to be a government contractor. And my mom swears till this day that I did OD, but I swear I didn't. I probably did. On the plane to Kuwait, um, I didn't wake up getting off the plane. They had to send an ambulance to wake me up. I personally don't remember. All I know is I remember a paramedic rubbing the center of my chest, and I got off the plane. I don't remember that. I can't say that I was or wasn't on heroin at that time. I don't know, but my mom says I OD'd. I don't think I did, but I might have. And ever since then, I went to Kuwait and I withdrawed, and they said I was just dehydrated, but I knew what it was, and I haven't touched anything like that since then, and that was 2011.
Nice, man.
So, I mean, other than alcohol, I had a problem with that too. That was my after, oh, well, alcohol's okay. So I became a very bad alcoholic. And then, of course, my father passing from it. Um, I've lived a pretty sober lifestyle until, you know, I literally probably drink once every 2 weeks or once a week, or, you know, if that, I'll have a beer here and there. But I don't, you know, yeah, I don't do anything anymore. You know, it's cool. Everybody's like, oh, smoke some weed. I would love to. It's just not for me. You know, I just choose to. It's not the fact that it's a gateway in my mind. I just choose to live it 100%, you know, clean. I'm not straight edge. For me, it's a no. But yeah, so there's that.
Well, that's awesome. I mean, learning and growing is like we all make mistakes. The question is, are you learning from them and trying to improve your life?
1000%. And that's the thing too, is I hate with a passion telling somebody, oh, well, I did such and such, you know, you could get over it. Oh, well, you know, one-upping somebody with the drug that they are addicted to and telling them that, oh, it's okay, you can get over it, because it's not about that. It's about the addiction for that. It's all the same. It's all the amount. It doesn't matter what the drug is or what your addiction is. It's all the same at the end of the day. At the end of the day, if so and so is addicted to alcohol, it's the same effect as if the person's addicted to heroin. It's an addiction. It's not about what the power of the drug or what the power of the addiction, you know, what it is. It's the fact that you're addicted. You just can't let go. And I don't think anybody understands that until, you know, you get off of it. And yeah, it's hard, and I can't really explain how to do it. You just have to want to do it. So,
Well, I can talk a little bit about that just from my own experience, which was I was trying to escape my reality. That's why I would drink until I
yep,
wasn't in my reality. So it seems like from what you and I have talked about, you no longer needed that or had that desire because you were controlling and improving your reality and you wanted to be present in it.
right. You're 100% correct.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously, um, it's an incredible thing that you've gone through all of that and learned from it, and now you're going to be a father because you have these life experiences that are very powerful and life lessons, and you've made it through them prior to becoming a father. So
Yep.
presumably, hopefully, your child will never experience you with
Um,
these problems.
and that is the biggest thing. I even said that on the drinking stream, which I've kind of contradicted the hell out of myself there. Well, I wasn't like wasted to where I was obnoxious, but that was the main question. Is everybody's like, well, how are you gonna let your son be raised? I was like, well, the reason I think I went down the path that I went down is because I was told no so much, and that you can't so much, that it
Mm,
wanted me to, you know, when you do that to somebody, whether it's bad, if it's bad, of course I understand, but if it's just a no because you don't want them to, I think you're holding your child back, or you're holding someone back from, you know, experience a life lesson. And unfortunately, I was told no, and it wasn't about, okay, well, I want to do it because I want to learn. I want to do it now because I'm told no.
mm,
So that's actually how I ended up learning most of my life lessons. Is I'm like, don't tell me no, please don't tell me no. If you tell me no, if it's obviously no in a sense of, oh, well, I can either do it this way or I'm gonna do it this way. And yeah, I've definitely learned to take more control over my life and who I am now as a person than I was when I was a lot younger. And I'm only 28 years old, and I know everybody's like, you're so young. I I learned at a very young age how to grow up.
mm. Yeah, definitely. So let's step away from that and let's
Hmm.
get into a segment that I always like to near the end, which is so obviously you've been streaming for years. You've been on DLive now for a number of months. We like to offer encouragement, but also real tips and tricks to new streamers for that have never streamed before or new to streaming. So I always ask two questions.
I love
Dad,
you, Dabs.
Dab's
I'm a
going ham.
fan.
So actually, you know what's funny? You know what I'm going to do with that, Dabs, is subscribe to my boy Cincy, just so you know. Um,
Thanks, man.
but the thing that we like to say, gosh, they're going ham now. I love you guys. So
Oh
uh,
man. Oh man.
there's
All right.
there's so much support in here. Again,
Yes.
I try to not call out the donations during these streams because it tends to derail the conversation. But Dabs and AutoWorks, I love you guys.
I love you guys too, man. Go
So,
ahead.
so before we forget what we're talking about,
I know. I was like,
two,
before they take our ADD.
yeah, yeah. Oh, it's too late. It's too late.
Yeah, I know.
So it's a two-part. Now I gotta dance. I love this song. All right. So, oh my God, here we go again. I'm so
Oh yeah, that's
distracted.
right. Cool.
All right, all right, all right. So it's a two-part question. First part is, what would you recommend to not do as a streamer? It will hurt you. And what would you recommend to do that would actually help you be more successful as a streamer?
Man, those are the questions of the streaming life of being a streamer. Period. The biggest thing I think for anybody who is a streamer who at least even has a little bit of viewers, even has anything, I would even say like myself, who's somebody who doesn't, necessarily want to sit there and say that I don't even consider myself a known or big streamer. I don't consider myself to be the guy. I'm not the guy. I'm just a dude who likes to play video games, who's showing other people that I like to play video games. Is the biggest thing is going into other people's channels and just promoting yourself but acting like you're not, because that is the
Right.
biggest mistake anybody can do, is to go in there and say, oh, no, 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 I'm not promoting myself. You have to understand, tons and tons of tons, if the person has been streaming for 4 years, we've seen it multiple times. You're not the first person to do it. We see it. We've seen it all the time. We can see it, and that's, you have to understand, is we see when you're self-promoting but you're trying not to, and we know when you're trying to do whatever the case may be, and you're not to. Just be yourself. The best way to do it is talk to the people. Don't go in there for yourself. If somebody likes what you're saying in the chat, they're gonna click your name. I'm notorious for it. I'm gonna click your name and I'm gonna go to your channel and check you out.
Hmm.
And if I see that you're a streamer, I might follow. I might wait until you stream. It's I'm that type of person. That's the best thing you can do, is talk, communicate with the person. I know some streamers are very bad at communicating with their channels. Like, let's say they don't talk to you unless you're subscribed, or they won't talk to you unless you're partnered. And in my channel, that's not. I don't care if you don't have anything in front of your name. I don't care if you literally don't even have a picture. If you have genuine conversation with me, I'm gonna follow you and I'm gonna talk to you, and I might even help you out on your journey. That's the biggest thing you can do, is communicate. If you have any issues and the person seems like they're gonna, the streamer seems like, oh yeah, he'll help me with something, ask them. But don't go in there first and be like, hey, I have an issue, and not even say, hey, what's going on, blah blah blah. Like, introduce yourself. If you're
Hmm.
new, talk, communicate. That's the biggest thing you can do, is communicate and network. Have a conversation. Don't talk about their stream, don't talk about your stream. Don't talk about so and so. Just have a conversation. Join in on whatever the conversation is at that time, or even if there is nobody in there, you just communicate with them like you walked up to them at a bar, or you walked up to them on the street. Not that they're streaming or you're trying to get off or leech off of that. Just talk to them. That's the biggest and best thing you can do ever to become who you want to be in the streaming world.
Yeah, and to be clear and to be fair, guys, like a lot of us are streamers. So if like there will be talk about streaming, right? We're
Right.
not saying you can't go into a channel and talk about streaming. We're saying don't go into a channel and try to one up them and take the attention away from the streamer. That's disrespectful.
Right. Like, it's like you're going to somebody's wedding, and you're sitting there, and your attention's on you now. It's like, this is somebody's channel. It's Let them do their thing, and some people get very very offended. I've had a lot of people come to my channel and say, wow, you're you're an awesome streamer, you're so nice and genuine. And it's like, because you have to understand, at one point in time I was in your shoes. At one point in time, I mean, I'm still in your shoes in a sense. I'm not a known streamer. it, we've been there. We know what it's like. I know what it's like to struggle. I know what it's like to say I can't. I know what it's like to say, oh, I don't have the setup for this. If you want to stream, do what you can to stream, and just communicate. I guarantee you, at the end of the day, somebody who you watch religiously is going to click on your channel one day where they're not streaming, and they're going to come check you out, and that's it.
Hmm.
And you'll kick off from there. If you're a genuine person and you're not about just coming to somebody's channel to talk to them to get your channel out there, you will get seen. Somebody is going to see you. Somebody is going to talk to you. It's that's the main thing. It's just talk to the streamer. Don't talk to them, as if you're there for just to blow yours up. Talk to them as a person. Talk to them like they're a human.
Yeah, and I would like to throw in just a few things. Like number one, if you guys are going to use stickers like gifts, right?
Yes.
The reason for doing that is to be because it furthers the conversation, right? So if somebody has a good game and you post a good game sticker, that makes sense. But if somebody's being serious and trying to have a serious conversation and you're spamming Ricardo, that doesn't make
Oh,
sense, right? That
yes, it
doesn't
doesn't.
like I,
Doesn't.
right. So I'm just saying, like, try to keep your content apropos to the conversation at hand, right? Appropriate. I don't know.
Right. And that's the biggest thing is like, oh man, I'm not a person who gets triggered easily, but I know there's some people out there who would love to just be like, oh, I'm gonna trigger this person. And before I even let it like everybody's like, "Oh, you're an asshole or you're a dickhead for deleting that person because they spammed one GIF or GIF or whatever the case would be." If I say like, "Hey, man, I've already had enough people come in here and be obnoxious. Please don't do that," and then you do it just to trigger me, oh, you will definitely get a mute. At the end of the stream, I'm gonna unmute you. It's just like don't do that. Don't encourage stupidity over something. And I get it, it's funny sometimes, but you have to understand we see things and we get tired of you might not have seen the 4 hours of streaming before. I'm into my 8 hour stream and you come in and do the same thing that just happened to my stream 2 hours ago. They don't want to deal with that. They really don't. And it's, yes, unfortunately they get more angry than others, but I mean, just yeah, the sticker thing, yeah, man, that's obnoxious sometimes.
Well, and let's talk about this because maybe you guys don't know this. How do I? They're schooling us.
Yeah,
GIF
see.
is graphics interchange format. Um, Here's
Oh,
something that you may not know about being banned on DLive, and I don't mean you necessarily, Cincy, but everybody listening. If you get banned in 3 channels in 24 hours, you get a site-wide ban for a week.
I didn't know that.
If you get banned in 10 channels, no matter how long it takes, you're banned from the site. If you create a new account to get around the site ban, they're going to IP ban you. So
That's news to me. Wow,
there
that's good to
are,
know.
yeah, there are many levels of protection that DLive is trying to encourage the community, trying to support the creators in ways that we can control the content on our page, right? Because you are required to follow the community standards of DLive as a streamer, and we all have to self-moderate our channels. So if you come in the channel and you're violating the community standards and we don't do something, we can get banned from the site, right? So
Right.
there's gonna, not only do we not like it being personally attacked and we don't want you personally attacking our friends and family, we're also bound by the community standards of DLive. So before I forget, I saw this question scroll up. I don't know what it has to do with anything, but somebody, since he wants to know if you get seasick.
And it's funny because I saw that and I'm like, why would that be a question?
Yeah, I don't know, but I
Um,
like to ask them.
Otterworks, that Otterworks has been a very interesting person. I think we met not too long ago. He came into my stream and asked me to like he was Ninja Guinea after Ninja Guinea thanking me for pretty much playing Days Gone. Because playing it for the ones who don't have a PlayStation, and I'm genuinely playing it like I would. I don't, and I just play games like I do, and he been awesome ever since then. But it's weird that you asked that, but it's funny because we have a ferry here that takes us from one side of the water to the other side, and you drive your car on it, and every single time me and the wife, take the ferry to Surrey, uh, I have to get out of the car, even though we're not moving. I have to get out of the car, and I have to see where I'm going because yes, I most certainly do. I get motion and seasick very bad. So I try to avoid obnoxious amounts of if I'm moving and I don't know that I'm moving. It's like vertigo in a sense. I don't know, but
Mhm.
yes, I do. I do get seasick. He said chintzy, and that's funny. Dabs plays has a he played the communication bot or the talk to speech or something, and the Italian one calls me chintzy.
Oh, that's I, dude.
That's
I'm Arthur Year Holt, so I can.
and so
Yeah,
it's like
yeah.
Chinsei says, and I was like, "Where's the H?"
I like now. I just because of text to speech, I like spamming lemons in people's chat like 777 because
Oh
it's
yeah.
Arthur Year Holt has donated 1 lemon for like an hour.
Oh
I'm
gosh.
the worst kind of friend.
That's why I say, and I new people I've been doing. People, I'm like, is your lemon spam protector on? And they're like, no. What is that? And I'll spam like 150 lemons. I'm like, welcome to DLive. Hopefully you learn to take this off. And I think it's a nice way and in a mean way to kind of welcome them. But yeah, I spam a lot of new people when they put on Tidy Labs.
Yeah, exactly. So just so you guys know, if you don't, Tidy Labs is the alert system for DLive. And yes, you can turn on lemon spam protection, and you can set the time so no matter who donates, it will only read out one lemon every like 25 seconds, I think it is. So it's pretty nice. You know, it gets to be like I'm guilty of lemon spam. That's why I have lemon spam protection on. So you
Oh
can
yeah,
come
I am
back and
too.
get me.
No, but you know what's even worse is that you can't have ice cream spam, or you can't have you can't turn off the diamond spam. And I know
That's
this
true.
sounds like
That's
super
true.
whatever, but I get ice cream spam a lot, and it's I mean it's great. I appreciate it, but it's so bad sometimes.
So just so you guys know, when Cincy streams later, I'm gonna give you a tip right now. Okay, this is a trick that is gonna help you in Cincy stream later. If you want to spam lemons, ice creams, anything, you hold down the left click on your mouse and enter, and it'll go.
What?
Brrrr. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Left click and enter. You can spam anything you want.
Oh, that's news to me. Well,
You're welcome.
that's
Also,
they're
go
they're
ahead.
gonna block that.
No, I hope not. I hope it's too much
Ah,
fun, man.
dude, I
Oh,
did not know that.
be careful though if you're like, it's Ninja Guineas or Ninjets because you can empty your LINO fund in a hurry that way. But yeah, left click and enter definitely will do that.
Oh my
See how
gosh.
God, here goes Dab. All right, and hate the time difference got to run. Hey, appreciate you being here, Aaron. So, oh
To him
shit, we
too.
just taught Dabs. Oh no,
Yeah, I didn't either.
I love that we can teach even global partners new things about the
Yes,
platform.
Dabs is an amazing global partner too. He definitely represents this platform very well.
So a couple more things we like to tell you guys about. Hey, Dad, thanks for that, brother. It's a couple things I want to tell you about Lino that you may not know. Number one, if you go to a streamer's channel and they're offline and you still want to donate Lino to them, you can go to any replay video and donate Lino.
I learned that like last week,
Yeah, so
and I was like, "What?"
your favorite streamer doesn't, because again, we're all over the world here, and like he
Right.
was just saying, this time change sucks. Yeah, I mean it's like damn near midnight in the UK right now, and it's 5:30 in the afternoon in the United States. So again, if you want to donate Lino to your favorite streamer and they're offline, go to a replay video. You can donate the Lino. The next tip that I always like to give about Lino is be careful where you're buying your Lino from. They charge different percentage fees for doing the transaction. So, like if you're on your Apple phone and you use DLive, it's going to charge 30% interest on your
Yep.
purchase. If you go to the desktop version on your Apple phone, there's still fees, but you don't get the heavier fee, the
I didn't
30%.
know that.
Yeah, so you can actually go to like desktop version and get out of the app and save yourself some money there.
But there's
But
still a fee.
yeah, it's just not as
Wow.
high.
I didn't
So
know that.
so one of the cheapest ways to buy Lino is on your computer through DLive.
Yep.
And that's what I would recommend. And the difference, guys, is big. Like if you're spending, we'll say roughly $100, because it's not exactly $100, but if you spend $100 on the phone app, you're going to get 2,000 less Lino than if you bought that Lino on DLive through the computer, through the DLive website.
See, I did know that. I did know that the app difference, but I've purchased it a couple of times through the Safari app on my phone because I didn't think there was a difference, and now I'm learning that there is. So that's crazy.
Yeah, and again, I'm not an expert with this stuff. You guys can find all this information on DLive's website. You can ask on DLive Discord. You can talk to staff. You can talk to guardians. You can talk to global partners. I mean, there's plenty of people who keep up with this. I try. I do my best. I have some traumatic brain injury, and my memory's not so good. So that's why I'm not trying to quote specifics right now. I'm just trying to get you guys to understand there is a difference in the percentage charged when you buy Lino, depending on where you're buying it from.
Yep.
Let's see. That's my last major tip or trick. What do you have any more that you would like to speak about specifically?
Um,
in terms of streaming?
I mean, I know the main big question a lot of people have asked me is like the bit rate type stuff when you're doing OBS.
Mm.
A lot of people are sending theirs to like 6,000 bit rate or 7,000 bit rate because their internet or their PC can handle it. Personally and honestly, I've learned this over the years. It's not going to matter. I've always kept mine at 3,500 bit rate because regardless, even if well, if you're not partnered streamer too, you don't get the transcoding also as well. Um,
Can you
but
talk about transcoding?
so transcoding, pretty much if you notice, you don't have the source or the auto or the you don't have like partners get better quality, better less lag or more. How do I explain this? They're a priority on the platform if you're a partnered streamer, especially if you're a global streamer. You are a priority of when you stream. So which means your streams will be better quality, less lag, less latency because you're a partnered streamer versus a
Mm.
newer streamer who's coming onto the platform because it's a thank you or it's because or you've worked so hard to put your time into the platform. So they give you transcoding, which I'm not 100% what that means, but I know that it allows you to have a better quality or better your stream is going to look 10 times better. So if you're curious as to why yours doesn't look as crisp as so and so's, it's probably because if they are a partner, they're definitely getting a better transcoding or they're getting a better quality because DLive is making them a priority on the platform.
Right. And the reason, guys, to be clear is bandwidth costs money. Server space costs money, right? So they're trying to give priority to those that have proven their loyalty to the platform and proven that they support the community of DLive.
Yeah, 4.5 is crisp. I will agree with that, Debs. I've always used 4,000 or 3,500 to 4,500. There's no reason. I'm telling you right now. If you're wondering why your thing is even running it in 1080p, I don't even do that. I run mine in 720, 60 frames, even though I can run it in 1080p. It's not like to get the least amount of lag. Me
Hmm.
personally, I run it in 60 frames. I run it at 720, and I run it in 3,500 to 4,500. You know, bit or whatever.
Yeah, and if you're streaming and your face is just a tiny little block in the corner and you're trying to stream at a super high rate, you're just burning bandwidth they
Yep.
can't tell that you're high definition when you're 1 inch square in the bottom. The other thing that's even more important to talk about is a lot of the people who are viewers of DLive do so on their phones. And so the higher bandwidth required to watch your higher level stream that isn't necessarily necessary is going
Right.
to cause lag issues, right? Latency issues when they're on a mobile platform.
Yep. Yeah, especially if they're not using Wi-Fi on their phone and they're using mobile data. Yeah, it's going to be very hard for them to not get lag. I've noticed a lot of people are saying, "Oh, the streams, or did the stream go down? I can't." Everybody's chatting. Is the stream? No, it's probably because you're watching something that somebody has their bit rate through the roof, and you're just trying. Your phone data can't keep up with it. And my
Right.
wife said, "What are those stone monsters called on the top of the buildings?" And she loves to get me for this. I call them gargoyles, and she says she thinks I'm
They are
saying
gargoyles.
well, see, I don't say it like that. She thinks I'm saying guard whales.
Oh,
Yes.
no, they're gargoyles.
That's what well, I say gargoyles.
Gargles?
Oh, whatever.
That's what you do with the blue stuff and the with
Oh, and
the.
she's even triggering herself, so that's why I love her.
So Dab says, and I love that you're in here sharing this info, Dab. I really appreciate it. So
Yes.
he says, I
I
dual
love learning.
stream, so if I go less than 4.5K, Facebook won't let my stream be in 1080p. Ah.
Yeah, and I know that a lot and that I would love to touch on that as well too. Go ahead.
So actually, Cincy, I have a question for you, and Dabs is in here to clarify and I know you learned it from Dabs. So I've
Uh-huh.
seen him play first-person shooters on a tablet. How in the heck are you
So
doing that?
that's what I was just and you came in, Dabs. I was talking about you earlier, but I don't even I'm just kidding. Um I had never in my entire life seen I've played PUBG Mobile on my phone, and I know a lot of people who do. Most people, they enjoy it. And I know some people on the platform play PUBG Mobile, and they do it through an emulator on their PC. But Dabs, of all people, I've watched him. That's what got me so intrigued is he plays it with an iPad, and I watched and watched. I'm like, dude, I cannot play like this until he released to me. He said, here, set yours up for claw, which is a style of how you hold your hands and how you click things on the iPad is 10 times easier. And he puts deodorant on his thumbs. It's amazing. If you're not following Dabs, you need to follow Dabs. If you were like, why would anybody play PUBG Mobile on their like? I'm telling you, it answers all your questions if you go to Dabs' stream. It's like, wow, this is crazy. This blows my mind because it's different, and it's crazy how many different streamers. Like I watched something from you earlier. You mentioned what's his name, Goose.
Wild Goose.
Wild Goose. I found him one day. He was just wearing a mask and he was singing. And I followed him and said, I love this. You know why I love it? Because it is different and it is them. It is who they are. It's their
Yeah.
skill, it's their talent. I mean, yeah, Apex Legends is cool, Fortnite is cool, but being yourself and playing, showing your ability to have a skill or your interest in something that not a lot of people do is amazing. And don't be afraid to show that. Don't stream things because everybody else is streaming it and getting views. Stream it because you want to stream it and because you're good at it.
Well,
It's
I have
amazing.
to apologize. I may have screwed up Wild Goose's leather gimp mask karaoke streams because I said, dude, I love I followed Wild Goose for the same reason. He was wearing a leather mask, and I was like, that's crazy. I don't know what's happening, but I like it. What I said to him was, you're singing, but you're wearing a mask. So are you really singing? Like, how do we even know that you're actually singing? And I haven't seen him wear the mask. I was like,
I haven't
oh, I
either.
think I screwed it up. So
So
I apologize publicly if that's the case.
I say eventually we get we just go over there and we just spam him and tell him to sing and put the mask back on. We'll get it back.
Dude,
We'll
Dab, you just get now. That's why Dab's better than us, and you just gave his secret away.
Oh, I did because he does it on stream, so don't you lie. He's like, yeah, I put deodorant on. I'm like, and when he does that too, of course I had to try it and see.
Does it work? Like, what does that do?
Oh, well, my OCD doesn't allow me to do it because you get deodorant all over your screen. I'm like, oh no, I can't do this. But it prevents you from being sweaty, which I understand too, because I wipe off my hands a lot, and it prevents the clamminess of your fingers. And I continuously, when I was competitive, always kept a rag. I would always wipe down my controller because it'll get greasy. It'll get. I mean, as you're sitting here and you're playing,
Dude, I keep a paper towel right here just for like doing that.
Yep, you gotta wipe it down, and that's
Yep.
I guess the deodorant keeps him from being all what up here, Leo?
But it doesn't affect the touch screen.
I honestly, those are questions I don't know. You gotta watch him play, man. It's crazy. You in the game, he can jump and spin around at the same time, and it's so hard to do that.
It's the
jumping.
It's the jumping, Cincy.
Yeah, it is the jumping. You're right. That's exactly what it is, and we're back.
See, we just came right back around.
Yeah, yes, we did. But I did want to touch. I almost went away from this about the. He said he streams as well on Facebook. A lot of people when I first got over here were not supporting or not rating or they weren't visiting other channels that were dual streaming. And me personally, I never even told I never told Twitch. I never even dual streamed to Twitch when I got here. I never once did dual stream, and that was because I wanted to completely just get away from that. I wanted to start new, and I wanted to be completely, fresh from that. But personally, I don't think it is an issue. I personally don't have any problems with people who are dual streamers because it's just, that's just what they have communities everywhere, and if they have very, very loyal people who like to watch them, what's wrong with them dual streaming? I don't see any problem.
Right, and I've actually talked about this with a number of other streamers who dual stream to Facebook and Mixer and stuff. And I will say this. Keep your audiences, right? Maybe somebody doesn't want to move to a new platform. So there's nothing wrong with that. But the one thing I would say that will help you is if you get everybody to one platform, it becomes easier on you keeping up with chat. The monetization of the platform is higher if you have 400 people watching, but split over 3 or 4 platforms, you're not monetizing the platform as well as you could be, right? In terms of DLive specific. And so, like, what I've seen a lot of larger streamers do is that for maybe the first month or two, they'll dual stream to other platforms, and they'll be saying, "I'm going to stop dual streaming to other platforms at the end of this amount of time. So come on over, and to the new platform." And that will help you in turn. Like on DLive, while we say don't chase numbers, grow organically, it does. You do need a certain amount of followers to be verified partner. You do need a certain amount of followers to be global partner, right? You do need to lock in more LINO as the tiers go up. So it will help you. Bearded
Yep.
Leo, welcome to the show. Dabs, gotta run, talk to there. Man, love you, brother. Appreciate the help.
Yeah, and that was a big thing too. A lot of people are talking on the. I know we're going all over the place. The whole getting the 200 followers, locking in the Lino, all that stuff to become a partner, and then a lot of people becoming a partner, and a lot of people being upset about everyone becoming a partner. And are they going to change the rules? And everyone's looking at it at a standpoint that is, to me, completely irrelevant. And yeah, I love that everybody's getting partner, and the partner regulations and the standards and how you have to become, a partner. It's easy, not easy. Let me rephrase it. It's easier than most platforms. Uh, but the biggest thing for me is don't go to a Turkish stream or someone's stream that you don't understand the language they speak, and you don't know anything, and you just get the following. You get all the followers because the biggest thing about Twitch for me, and it happened for a whole year, is I was botted. Somebody had paid or
Mm,
did or whatever, and I was botted at almost 500. I mean, almost 100 to 500 viewers every time I turned my stream on, every single time, and I have
mm.
no idea. I don't know where it came from. You can't get it turned off. It doesn't stop, and you just have to accept it. And I tried to fight through that for so long, and I couldn't. And it upsets me when I see people doing that, because you have to understand, having a following means nothing. It's all about the real genuine people in your chat. You can have no followers, but people are in there talking to you. I think that's amazing. Like, it's not about who follows you or how many followers you have. It's about the genuine conversations that are actually going on, in your channel. I just know that happens on this platform, and if that's the route, if you do, not to speak Turkish or whatever, if you speak that language and they come and you go over there and you're talking, by all means, I 100% support that too. But me personally, I don't speak Turkish. I don't know I don't understand. I know, assalamu alaikum, alaikum salam. I get that. They say that. That just means, hey, how are you? Hi, whatever, and that's fine. But if it doesn't, if you don't, there's no purpose in that. It's very pointless. Having followers means nothing if they don't actually talk to you and hang out.
Well, there is one, and I'll actually put his link in the chat for you guys. There is one Turkish streamer I found. His name's Hexakafa, that speaks English and Turkish. He reads and speaks English and Turkish both. And I like to spend time in his channel because, number one, it's a completely different reality from mine, right? It's a completely different society. It's a completely different language. And I find it expands your brain to be exposed to that. So if you guys want it, and he'll speak to you honestly about the problem with a lot of these Turkish people who are doing the follow for follow and the rating and self-promoting. He will help you understand that, right? But at the
Fun.
same time, he's an incredible dude. So don't shy away from like a group of people because some of them are problematic, right?
Hmm.
It goes down to go to the channel, hang out, spend time,
Right.
communicate with them, talk to him, right? I went into his channel the first time. He was speaking Turkish, the chat was in Turkish, and I just wanted to say aloha, right? And I liked he has this thing where he sits in a trash can while he's
I just
gaming.
clicked. He's live right now, and
It's
he is
hilarious.
sitting in a trash can. That's funny.
Yeah, and sometimes his kid's sitting in the trash can gaming, he's doing retro
That's
gaming and stuff.
that's good.
Yeah, I love that. And it's so I started talking to him in English and he started responding back in English. And so it actually got me going to Google Translate because his chat was still mainly in Turkish and I was using Translate to translate from Turkish to English. Then I would respond in English, translate it to Turkish, and put it into his chat in Turkish.
That's a
And,
lot of work.
well, but why not, right? I want to
Right, right. I
know.
mean,
And
yeah, I
well,
agree. And if they come in and they comment once and they don't spam me, I will take the time to translate it, because obviously they're, whatever, they're not spamming. They're literally trying. And I'm like, why not? If they're gonna come and say something not be spammy, I'm 100% gonna take my time to read it. And if it's something genuine or nice, I will translate it back to them. But I will let them know I don't speak that language.
Sure, sure. And now, to be clear, guys, if you're like for me, I'm an English speaking streamer. I've learned a number of different languages over my years, but I can only moderate English well, right? I can only read and speak English well. And according to the community standards of DLive, you need to moderate the chat in your channel. So if we say, please speak English, that's not because we don't care about your primary language. It's because we can't moderate that language.
Yes, correct. Oh, sorry. AutoWorks said he had mentioned something. He had sent it to me in Discord. The reason he asked about the seasickness is because yes, well, actually we haven't even talked anything about my job. Uh,
You have a
I
job
want.
outside of streaming?
No, I don't currently. I did. I've in the last since actually I've seen DLive. I was working for a company called Newport News Shipbuilding. They build aircraft carriers for the Navy, and the only place in the entire world that we build aircraft carriers. And I worked on the CVN 78, which is General R. Ford, the largest aircraft carrier that the United States Navy owns, and that's currently not decommissioned. That's currently considered active. And I was a marine electrician for about 6 months. Prior to that, I was logistics. I worked in a warehouse. I've always done labor. There's, my ADD doesn't allow me to sit at a desk, so I've always done labor. I've always worked with my hands. I've never been to college, and after a while, I got tired of logistics, and I was like, well, screw it. I'll try something. So I applied to Newport News Shipbuilding and became an electrician, and I loved it. The only biggest issue, which made me quit, was there's about 50,000 employees, and working on first shift, there's about, I would say, anywhere close to 15,000 that work on first shift to, let's say, 5,000 parking spots. And if my shift starts at 7 a.m., if I don't leave by 4:30 in the morning, I will not find a parking spot. And if I park somewhere where I'm not allowed to, I will get towed.
Mm.
And it's rough. And you have to get there. And if you're even 30 to 15 minutes, I live like not even 10 minutes from it. And if you're late, the traffic, everybody's hauling ass. It was just way too. It put a burden on me. And yes, I do need a job, and yes, I should be working. But it started to become another, mental health issue towards, like, I say, if you are doing your job just because you need to get by, it can do more damage than not, me personally, than leaving it. I know
Mhm.
money, you got to think about those things and you need to be worried about, but the situation I'm in now, I'm okay. My roommate is in the Air Force and he's deployed to Africa right now, and he's like, get yourself back on your feet, and I love him for that. And he's like the best support system I've ever had. So right now, currently, I am okay. But no, I am looking for a job. But no, currently I'm a full-time DLive streamer.
Nice.
Yeah.
Same with Techno. He tries to understand the English and does his best to chat. That's awesome.
Yep. I love that. And I mean, I'm supportive. That's all I gotta say. I mean, I support it 100%.
Yeah, and the thing, man, like one of my favorite parts of DLive is that it's international.
Yeah.
I mean, you could travel the world, get to know new people, new cultures, new languages just on this one website. I think it's fantastic.
Yep.
Still messed up for working retail, landscaping so much better.
Yeah. Kev's got a really bad back problem from his thing, and he still does landscaping. I mean, it's stuff like that. It's look, we do the labor, and yes, of course, we know what we're getting ourselves into working in the labor industry, which I will always be labor. I will always work labor. It's just what I'm used to. It's I'm better with my hands than my brain, and unfortunately, yes, it does a very big number on the body.
Mm. Yeah, I'm medically retired now and hurt every day, so I understand that struggle for sure. And that's what's fun about streaming to me, like being autistic, having the social anxiety and stuff, being able to stay in my house in my safe space, as people refer to it. It's nice, it's empowering,
Yeah.
but also I would be the first person to say you need to leave the house. You need to get sunshine. You need to have real life relationships with other human beings. That's very, like, in front of them physically, it's very important.
I mean, fun fact: the best source of vitamin D is the sunlight. So if you're lactose intolerant, there you go. You can go get you some sunlight. Um, what was I? There was something I was about to see. There goes my ADD. What the hell was I about to say? I don't remember now. Anyways,
So guys, again, if you have any questions, please drop them in chat. We're at about that 2 hour mark, and we'll be
wow,
wrapping
are we
up
already?
soon.
Wow, we really are. And I was saying that
Yep.
yesterday on your YouTube. I was like, wow, how does he talk to them for 2 hours? And well, here we are.
Well, it's interesting because like what I found is the first 30, 40 minutes, I catch myself looking at
Whoa.
the time. But as soon as we hit about that 1 hour mark, the analytical questions have basically been covered. And then we just start talking about the stream in general. AutoWorks, such an incredible
He,
supporter.
dude, I can't even. I like that. He he literally watched all 8 hours of my. He didn't. He was in and out, but he would randomly do this, and I'm like, dude, you're so amazing, and you don't have to do that. He's like, dude, I'm loving. He even came into my channel and was like, oh, when I wasn't streaming, he's like, please do another Days Gone stream because unfortunately, I guess the other ones were just complaining a lot and weren't really actually streaming a decent one for him, and he didn't like it. So he's like, please stream it again so I can continue to watch it. So I did, and but AutoWorks is an amazing person as well.
Well, it was funny when I was in your stream last night. I said something like, "I'm only distracted by squirrel shiny things," and whatever that was, and he started laughing and looked off screen like, "Where? What?"
Look, man, and people think it's like I try really hard not to. I used to not embrace the ADD. I'm like, what are you talking about, man? I don't have an attention problem. I do, and everything distracts me. And then people are like, what's going on? And now I'll blatantly say, oh wow, there you go.
Speak of
There's
the
that.
devil.
Yeah, you'll I like that's what happens is I just get so distracted easily, very easily. It could be anything. And that's the biggest thing about having this computer area is I try not to have anything that's why I actually haven't even been looking at the screen the whole time. Is because I'm always looking at something.
Well, and that's it too. Look, something I've learned about live streaming is you need to be able to pay attention to like 10 things at once.
You do. And the biggest downfall for a lot of people, I've done it before as well, is it's not paying attention to your chat, and you're like, no, like, screw you guys, I'm trying to stream or I'm trying to do whatever. And I've noticed as people get larger viewing, they start to do that, and I understand, like I did it last night once or twice. But the main thing at the end of the day you have to understand is the people are going to talk. If you can multitask them both, go for it. But if you're not going to be able to do that, put that in your title. Let them know
Hmm.
that I am 100%. I'm literally just streaming to stream my, so y'all can see it. I don't communicate with chat because it's gonna make you look like an asshole, and
Right.
you don't, and they don't want to do that. Like we get where you're coming from. Like myself, I should definitely never be able to see. Of course, I can't. I love talking.
Well, I actually covered that with a couple guests recently who are hardcore battle royale players, and I asked them, "How do you maintain communication when you're playing a game that takes so much focus?" And
Right.
the best answer I got was actually from Filthy Saint, and what he said was, "Well, when you get really like tuned into a game, your chat is tuned in with you, right? When
Yes.
it's tense and you're like paying attention, so are they." And he said, "But when you're running from place to place, right, transitioning through the map, you're not engaged in combat. You can look over, you can check the chat, and you can respond. So there
Right.
are ways to still do it."
Enforcer J by far, I have never and ever seen ever seen somebody be able to play a battle royale, get the W, get 12 kills, and still be consistent with chat all at the same time, even with my ADD. That man,
Yeah.
he is crazy, and that's why I support the hell out of Enforcer J because, dude, it's bananas. He is so good at doing all three. Like
Yeah,
it's
I
crazy.
definitely second that. I've noticed his ability to communicate too.
And win and get kills.
Right.
Like it's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah, Josh is a beast for sure.
Yes, he is.
So we were just talking about Hexakaffa, and he dropped in Aloha, brother. I was just basically telling folks, and I linked your chat and was saying, don't be afraid of reaching out to other languages, other cultures. The Turkish community is very large on DLive, and I was talking you up and just saying, look, he understands English, he understands Turkish in writing and speaking, and go over, have a conversation, talk to him. He will help you understand a completely unique reality from your own.
Right. Um, yeah, I agree with that. If they're speaking out, if, I mean, if the language is there, if there's a language barrier, but they're still trying, I support it either way. I just don't support the, oh, I'm doing this for follows. And you'll notice, and
Sure.
I know I'm not saying about this about all people who have a ton of following, because it's not that way. They might be newer here and they still haven't hit certain marks to be partnered. But some channels, the reason why they aren't partnered is because they were, that's what happened. And I just, make it clear, don't do that to yourself because you want to hit that partner mark, because it's not going to help you. They are watching that,
Mhm.
and it's not going to help you either way. I mean, to screw the partner, it's your own channel. You're gonna, it's not going to be fun for you. Having 1,500 followers is only going to, that you don't even know. You're only going to still get that one viewer. They're not going to come watch you. You're just going to hurt yourself.
Sure. Absolutely. But yeah, that's so I wanted to make sure to make that point a couple times. Like another point we need to make about people that speak different languages than you. Maybe that's the only language they speak, right? Maybe that's the only language they read. So if they come in your chat and say something, let's say in Turkish, and you respond in English, they probably don't know what you're saying, right? So if
Right.
somebody comes in and speaks Turkish a few times and you automatically ban them because you ask them in chat to speak English and they didn't, it's because they don't speak English. So if
Right.
you go to like a Google Translate service and type in, this is an English chat, please speak English if you can, and translate to Turkish and share that with them, sometimes they can, sometimes it makes a difference, right?
You can make that as well as if you go to Tidy Labs and make that one of your bot your exclamation point commands. You can do that as well. You can literally exclamation point English, and it'll pop it up in Turkish and say, hey, this is an English speaking only chat.
Mm.
um, that's another way I personally haven't done it, because I haven't actually had a lot many visitors from that side. um, but it's something that, that as well. Or if they came in, if you see that AS is just being like put in your chat, you'll just see a random AS. That means they're saying assalamu alaikum, and if you just respond with SA, that means you're saying it back, and then that's it. So I mean, you will see AS, and I learned that AS just means them saying assalamu alaikum, which means, hey, how are you, or hope you're doing well, I think, or just saying a nice, hi, hi and hello or goodbye.
So if you're curious what we're talking about, guys, we're talking about tidylabs.stream. Tidylabs is the alert site for DLive, and it's run by a fella named Tidy, at Tidy. You can find him on DLive. You can find at Tidylabs on DLive. Follow them, support them, subscribe to them if you would like, and you're supporting the alerts, basically all the custom alerts. So if you go to Tidy, by the way, you have to sign in to Tidy Labs with your LINO account, just so you know. But under Tidy Labs on the left-hand side, there's several tabs, and one of those tabs is Chatbot. And it's honestly something I haven't gotten into yet. I need to learn that because it is incredibly helpful. You can do exclamation Discord, exclamation social media, like he said, exclamation English. So it's definitely something I need to get into, friend. And I might actually pick your brain about it.
Yeah, I that's actually, it's funny. That's my biggest hobby, or my biggest interest in streaming, is like what you have here. This beautiful setup, this beautiful layout. Interactions. I need to put up on my Twitter. Like, I haven't even edited my bio or my out. Or adding things to your channel. I know there's this new guy. I heard it's second. It's not 100% connected to the platform, but he's been going around. It's kind of like a bot, a command bot. And if you go into my channel and you type in exclamation point register, what it does is it puts pretty much a bot. If you notice, when people follow me, it says, hi, welcome to hell. That's a new platform or new thing. Now, they're not saying they don't trust that person, but it's not owned by the actual DLive team. But they are allowing it. They're saying that it's trustful, or that they from what they see and what they do, it's fine. But it does allow them to show you can do exclamation point LINO, and it'll tell you how much LINO the person has on them. You can do uptime. It tells you how much how long the stream has been live. You can do followers. You can do viewers. And that will just automatically, you don't have to customize anything. It'll automatically pop up in your channel. Or you can do it the Tidy Labs way and do the chat bot and put it on your channel, and your chat bot will I all that stuff I know how to do. If anybody does have questions, I try to keep it to a minimum. Like I can't help everybody. If it does get to a point where everybody wants to know something, I'll do a stream for it, and we can do a learning together stream.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I only use Tidy Labs, and I still don't use it well. So I'm still trying to learn.
I did Streamlabs and I did Stream Elements, and I was all about chat friendly interface for the longest with Twitch. I mean, I could care less what my stream was doing as long as my chat had options for you. So if anybody, I mean, and I know a lot of people ask me, "Oh, how did you get this?" or "How did you get that?" That's just who I am. My ADD wants me to know how to use these things without asking questions, and I like I said, I break it down. So I've taught myself everything I pretty much know.
Now, another link, and hopefully it's still a good link, but one link that you definitely need, you need to be on Discord, and you need to be in the DLive Discord.
Absolutely.
So the link I just provided, hopefully it's not an expired link, I don't think it is, but it's to the Discord app for DLive. And the reason they want you to use that is because any announcements, any community events, any changes to the platform or community standards, they're all available on there. But also, even more, what I find more important than that is if you go to the DLive Discord and you need help, there's a help center. And on the right side of Discord, at the top, there's a little search bar. There's two faces next to that on the left. If you click on that, that pops open or closes an interface that shows you the users of that Discord. At the top of that list are all the employees of DLive. Below that list are the guardians of DLive. You can communicate through direct messages. You can communicate through the help center, but there are always employees and guardians available basically 24 hours a day to answer questions that you have about the platform.
Yes, Dan Scott is the person that, like I said, I don't know too much about. I know it's called a DLive bot. Yes, this is the person I am talking about. If you go into that channel and you type in exclamation point register, it'll instantly add the bot to your stream. And he literally starts talking. I'm trying to find the actual site that he has. Here you go, DLiveBot.com.
I mean, my question would be, if you do that and register and it goes south, is there a way to unregister?
Yeah, you can completely, matter of fact, you can mute every single DLive. He has 3. So if you mute one, you still have to mute the other 2. Because the second one will come in and start saying the things for you, and then if you mute the second one, the third one will start coming in because it's still new. I've tried to do exclamation point unregistered just to see if it does remove it, and it does remove it. You can get rid of it, or if it doesn't get rid of it, you can literally mute all 3 of the bots, and they won't say anything anymore. But as I will state before, Dan Scott, it's just a community. I'm assuming, if I'm not mistaken, it's a community created. I'm not sure if they're a part of the actual DLive team. I'm not too sure. It says developers for the DLive bot team. Yeah, so I don't think they're 100% from DLive. But this is their site. It is another. And you don't have to set up anything. It automatically, if you just use that, all of it explains it in that place. But for me personally, it's the easiest way to have commands right now, currently in your chat for DLive. But yes, they are not. I don't think they are 100% connected to DLive.
Now, I would actually caution. Now, again, the disclaimer is I have 0 experience with this, and I haven't talked to any of the staff or guardians about it, so I have no official response. But I don't use add-ons outside of platforms. I don't do modifications to games because if the primary platform isn't the creator and there's an update, they may not mesh, and it may actually negatively affect your ability to use the
Correct.
platform.
Correct.
So I would definitely caution people. I mean, look, if you guys have questions, again, reach out to the staff, reach out to the Guardians through the Discord. It's very easy to do, and they will help.
Oh, try hard.
Try hard. What's up, man?
Yeah, and that's what I was saying. Big, like, if you're not even sure and you know you don't feel like you got information, I know I am using it. I know it's on my channel. That's just me. I'm not one to really do too much research before I do anything. But yes, as a very big disclaimer, they are not. I believe they are not any part attached to DLive. They're just a DLive support system that allows you to do that. I think if it were that bad and it was not trusted, it would not be allowed. So I think it's somewhat okay and some not. But yes, if you're not sure and you're very scared about using it, please contact staff before you even think about adding it to your channel.
Well, and really the first, again, I'm autistic, so I don't think emotionally. I just think like logically and informationally.
Yeah, right.
So the reason that I like immediately would think of a caution is because DLive is still what I would consider beta, right? The software changes, the interface changes, the hardware's change. Try hard, losing his mind.
Oh man.
Do you know that LINO's still on a test net, right? It's a private currency, not a cryptocurrency yet. Everything that we're doing right now is still on a test net and will change. Try hard. Try hard knows how to spam lemons.
Yeah, I see that.
So that's why I say, guys, just be smart about what you're doing, because again, if you violate the community standards, you can be banned. And I would rather not have special alerts than be banned because I'm using something that doesn't work, you know.
Yeah.
Freaking try hard, dude. I love you, buddy.
That art set, and I know somebody was gonna say something. You know what's really driving me? That freaking speaker holding that window blade up right. There's a lot of nitpicking already done behind me. Oh, hippie man, oh lordy, the Good Vibe Tribe is in the building.
Yeah, I got so. Let's actually. That just reminded me. I hadn't actually asked you. Are you a part of a stream team or a group? And how do you feel about that?
I am so glad this came up because this is my biggest pet peeve about certain things. Bearded Leo too coming in. I 100%, 1000% am okay with stream teams and okay with however they want to be a part of their community or however they want to put themselves. Me personally will never ever consider myself a part of a stream team, a solely provided like literally you have to do this, you have to have your tag on here, or you have mandatory things about the way your stream is. I don't personally support that, but I do support people that are just a group. They're just a group of people. They might have a name or they might call themselves something like Pricks, Slick Rick's group of rating team, or the Good Vibe Tribe, or stuff like that. I'm 100% a part of both of those communities. I will say, yeah, I'm with the Good Vibe Tribe. Yeah, I am a prick at the end of the day because they're not teams. We're just a group of people that support each other. Of course, the Warriors. Come on, Kev. I've been a Warrior since day one.
And
The
yes,
Warriors.
that is a good movie. I saw that.
Oh,
I saw that statement earlier.
sure.
Yes, you should see the Warriors, the movie.
That's where we actually get it from. Is the Warriors movie? But no, I don't. I'm not a part of any teams. I'm not a part of any like anything that has to do with cutting anybody out of anything. Yeah, I did that fix it? It did.
Yeah.
I'm not. Yeah, no, I'm not a part of any teams. But I am a part of community supported events. Anything like that. The Good Vibe Tribe, absolutely. There's no way, without a doubt, I would look at these guys. There's no. Oh my. I would never ever not call myself a part of the Good Vibe. Those guys over there, here they are. By far the best group of people I've ever met streaming my entire career. They don't care what. I mean, they invited me to play their Friday, whatever it was.
Friday Night Customs.
Okay, let me tell you, never again. I love you guys to death, but I don't play PUBG, and I love that though. The hippie put me on his team. He sacrificed a slot for a decent person so I could play with them, and I love that. But I don't do PUBG. And it was fun. It was a blast. I had no idea that it would be a turnout like it was. I thought maybe like when they said Friday Night Customs, it was going to be like 5 to 10 people. No, absolutely not. It is a world over there on Friday Night Customs with a good vibe tribe. And if you love PUBG, I 100% say me. I'm gonna stay away from that. I can't do that. That's not for me.
Yeah, so what we were talking about, guys, the difference between a stream team and just a community group is important to note, right? A stream team is a specific group of individuals. They enter tournaments together, they game together, right? They're known for generally a specific game.
Right.
Where a community group like the Good Vibe Tribe, you can be in a stream team and still be involved with the Good Vibe Tribe, because what
Right.
that group is, like the Pricks, like the Warriors, these are groups of people who just show love and support each other, right? Support other streamers with raids, with views, with LINO, but more importantly, with with communication, right? They come into the stream, they engage they support you, and we do a lot in like what in real life, right? Off the computer, off of streaming, we do fundraisers. I've been a part of at least three in the last month, which was we raised money for a dog shelter, we raised money for disabled vets and veterans, and we raised money for a young man named Noah who
That was
needs,
amazing.
yeah, several surgeries. So, I mean, it's such an incredible, like, we just set new records on DLive. We raised over 600,000 Lino for Noah's family, and we raised the same amount of money through their GoFundMe campaign,
Mm.
right? So it's like the thing about streaming, if you do it for the right reasons, right, to be a part of the community, to support each other, to create quality content, you're gonna be successful and you're gonna have a good time. And it doesn't matter the followers, subscribers, or donations. That's gonna
Right.
come, right? That just happens. That just comes along. And if you take your time with it, you're gonna build a group of people that you wake up in the morning and the first thing your brain says is, gee, I wonder how this person's doing today. I wonder how that
Yep.
person's doing today.
Yep. And it's crazy you said that because, like I said last night, of course, I didn't go. I went to bed at like 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock in the morning because I can't get off of DLive. I cannot stop and watch. Like I feel like I need to check in on such and such people, make sure they're doing great. I have definitely taken over the graveyard shift, is what I like to call it, of streaming. The reason I did this overnight, so I pretty much stream from like, I don't know, anywhere from uh, 8 p.m. at night to almost 6 o'clock in the morning, because the platform right now doesn't have a lot of members streaming. I know over the weekends there's tons of people, but
Mhm.
during the weekday everybody has a full-time job. So during those hours that some people may want to be watching, or some people are just always lurking, they don't have something to watch because everybody has a job and they have to go to sleep or whatever. So I took it upon myself to stream during those hours, just so DLive will still be, it'll still be active. It'll People during that time will always have questions that will be answered. So yeah, I have been streaming the graveyard shift, and it's just like, it's crazy to see the amount of people who are awake during those times.
Yeah, absolutely. But I will like to say, this is me being the dad here. It's important to sleep. It's
Yes, it
important
is.
to hydrate. It's
Yes.
important to maintain a relationship with your significant other, your
Yes.
children, to keep walking the dog, right? That
Yes.
stuff's important.
Yeah, that was my biggest downfall of that stream room. When I first started streaming was I won. When I went full time, I completely. Oh man, it was bad. I completely forgot about life itself, except for streaming. And I was in that room from. She was going. She worked the weekends as well. She used to be a Buckle Bunny, which is like one of the Coyote Ugly type girls on the
Mm.
weekends. And sh I she's like, "I'm going to work." I'm like, "What do you mean? What day is it?" She's like, "It's Saturday." And I was in that room from Monday to Saturday. That's it. I would sleep a little bit, get in there and go stream. And when I realized that, I was like, "Okay, you got to get a wraps on it. No matter how fun, how much you love it, you have to get up and walk away. You have to stretch, you have to drink water, and most definitely
Mhm.
do not neglect your loved ones, because if they ask you, hey, can if they, like, she will come down here and she would say, hey, can we have a, yes, absolutely. And I didn't stream that the whole weekend that y'all did that fundraiser. she asked me for it. Can it be her week? And I said, yeah. So that whole weekend I was not on, and unfortunately I did miss it, but my significant other didn't know about that kind of stuff. But I will support her first. You have to always, family is always first, no matter what.
Well, and one thing that I really like about DLive is you'll see people's moms and wives and husbands and
Yes.
kids in chat, right? And in the room and hanging out. I mean, it's a way you can get your family involved in this.
Speaking of so smooth, I mean, just right there is a prime example. And I met him going into his chat, and his wife is talking to him in his. It's just him and his wife when he first got on this platform. I will never, ever, ever forget that, because it's like, that's like, okay, she might not want to be standing next to him having a conversation. He also might not want to be, having a conversation with somebody next to him that the stream can't see. She is in his chat supporting him. She might even be in the other room just having a conversation. They're just talking back and forth. That right there is the biggest support I've ever seen. And I know some families do that, but when he first got here, there was nobody in his channel. There was nobody there except for him and his wife. They were just talking, and you can. That's so organic and genuine. There's can't make that up. Like, it was great. I love So Smooth.
Well, it's funny too because like Dabs, you got Mama Dabs. If you go into Sean's channel, you
Yes,
got Mama Hawk, and
and my woman, of course.
I'm like, I start talking about, yeah, Miss Cincy's in our chat. And I was talking, I said, my two of my brothers and my mom joined DLive when I started on DLive. And immediately the moms are like, what's your mom's name? Because they
Yep.
want to follow her and they want to chat to her. And so it's a
Yep.
great way to network for any group.
Yeah, and I've never, in any other platform, ever seen so much family support. Like,
Yep.
I have never, Dabs was the first stream that I went into, and it said mom and dad, and I'm like, is that, and his mom is very active, and
Oh,
I
yeah.
love that. And I love that. It's like, you can't, and I'm not saying that your family needs to do that. Don't go to your parents now or go to your significant other and be like, you don't love me because you're not in my chat. Don't do that
Yeah,
shit.
don't do that.
Yeah, and I told her if she wants to watch, she can watch, and she'll pop in and out. She'll creep when she wants to, and it's like, if you want them, if they want to understand what your world is going on when you're streaming, because some people outside of the streaming world don't understand what you really have going on right now. Like, if I explain this to somebody who doesn't know about streaming, they're gonna never think that there's this many people in the chat talking. And if you tell them, hey, why don't you just jump in my stream and check this out, they'll start to understand. But don't attack them. Don't be like, oh, you don't love me
Right.
if you're not here. It's different. But
Well,
absolutely, family is the number one support.
and in the same vein, I would like to say too, um, if you have a regular viewer and maybe they're a streamer, maybe they're not, and they're in your chat on a regular basis, and then they're not around for a while, don't attack them when they come back and say,
Yes.
where have you been? Why haven't you been here?
Right.
Somebody may have died. They may have been
Yep.
sick. They may have
Yep.
just had more and more people they're supporting, so they're having less time to spend in each individual channel, right?
Yep.
Just be grateful for the time that you get from them.
And that's another. I mean, I have cut myself off from some people because of their seriousness about that, about being very just like, they're very, like, I offended them for not being around, and then try to explain that you're just supporting so much. Golly.
Chicky
It's
Poo's
like,
in the house. Now, when he said cutest streamer ever, was he talking about me or you?
he had to be talking about you, because I don't have the beard like, all these bearded, which I say we start a boycott now for all these bearded people that are getting accepted. I'm just kidding.
Dude,
There's so many bearded people in this community. It's like, oh, it's like you're a cult.
actually, I was joking with somebody. I said I was going to start a DLive streaming group called Bearded Dudes with Hats.
That would be like 97% of this damn community. Yeah, it's funny though. I mean, it's crazy how many people you'll go into one chat and I'm like, oh, I know why everybody's here. Y'all all have beards.
The
It's like
beard hype
it,
is real.
it is. It's like it brings a whole freaking. It's crazy. Like, screw carve fans, screw like gamer fans. That beard community is strong, and if you can't grow a beard, you will never be as strong as that beard.
Two
It's
best
crazy.
beards on DLive, Drew Yo and Best of the Worst.
Dude, Drew has got a mean one.
Drew's beard's so big it doesn't even fit on camera when he turns his
Uh,
face sideways.
Drew definitely has a nasty beard.
That's so awesome. All right, guys. Questions for Cincy. We've been going like completely left and right field, which is fine. It's so awesome that Chicky, that hurts. You said best. Okay, hold the phone. Let me say something about Chicky Poo's beard. Okay. That
It's still
man can
there,
grow a
unfortunately.
better beard in 2 months than most of us can in a year or two.
This is true.
There's something ridiculous about that, and it's unfair, and that's why I didn't put you in the top two. But you're definitely in the top three.
I mean, I would no hippie. No, we're not doing that. We got the baby face, smooth face criminal. Hippie, me and you are baby face. We're not gonna do that.
It's okay to not have a beard. Rock it. Whatever you've got. You got a baby face, rock it. If you got
It's
a
them
beard,
jaw lines, man. Them jaw lines. People are like, man, you don't. Why would you cover up that beard or cover up that jawline with that beard? I've tried to grow a beard, and it's just not. We're not gonna do that.
yeah, I grow a dude, honestly, my most of my teeth are fake. I got sepsis and had to have a lot of my teeth removed. I grew a beard to hide the fact that I was toothless. And now I
Wow.
have dentures, but I'm digging the beard, so.
Yeah, the beard is definitely the beard. What do they call that? That's not a fedora, is it? That's a
Oh, I hit my head too much to remember something like that. The hat, yeah. If somebody in
yeah.
chat knows what kind of hat this is, what it's called, let me know because I want to buy more. And for the life of me, I don't know what it's
Yeah,
called.
your style is. I like your style, man. I mean, it's very homey. The whole atmosphere of what's going on is very homey.
It's supposed
Um,
to, yeah, just cozy, happy. I do things that increase, like, I learned a long time ago to listen to the vibrations around me. And when I was in nature, I'd feel very calm and very happy, right? Very peaceful. So I
mhm.
do things that feel the same to me, right? I try to perpetuate that sense of well being. So the candles, I burn incense, right? I grow a lot of live plants, like tropical plants. I wear the hat. I call it my driving hat. I don't know why, but
Taxi.
I put on my maybe so I put on my driving hat. I always wear an Aloha shirt every day on stream, but that's because that's what I do normally. I'm just being me, and
Right.
it seems it is quite unique, obviously, but it's not a show, right? I'm just me. So whatever you have, rock that shit. That's the best part.
Said they're Boston Scallies.
Boston Scallies.
Okay.
Really? I'm
I
gonna
don't
have
know.
to write that down because there's no way I'll remember that
Chicky
again.
Poo is a very fashionable,
Oh yeah,
genuine gentleman kind of guy. I believe
dude.
that is correct.
A Boston Scally and an ascot, that might be the way to go.
It's a scally, yeah. That man is a suit and tie kind of guy, and that's why I like Chicky Poos. He comes in here and he's from what I'm told. Now I don't know too much about outside of DLive Chicky Poo, but you're a very businessy man. But you separate your play and work, and I like that.
Well, we just had Chicky Poo on Fireside Chats, and he dresses like that because he's a manager of a car dealership. And he said that's how he goes to work. Because I brought up, I said, you're the best dressed guest we've had on Fireside Chats. And he's like, well, I mean, this is what I wear to work.
I was thinking about wearing my Christmas suit, but I realized like it'll take me all of 5 minutes before I'm sweating and trying to get naked. So I was like, let me just not.
And it's definitely not that kind of a podcast.
No. Well, it
No,
represents me, but yeah, go ahead.
no, I mean the getting naked part.
Oh,
The
oh, oh,
costume
oh,
I
oh,
don't
no.
mind, but
Oh, he's like, I didn't even think about that.
but actually, I've had a number of guests on who maybe they wear a wig, maybe they wear makeup, right? Maybe they have this character that they play, and that's what they enjoy doing. And I'm like, that's fine, right? But that's not what we're trying to do with these podcasts, right? The fireside chats is about getting to know you on a real level, no gimmicks needed, right?
Yep.
So I appreciate that you just came as you are.
Yeah, and that's what I wanted. I mean, I did a little bit of watched a little bit of the podcast from the previous ones. Of course, Hippie. I don't think I've ever seen him without his glasses. So when I saw that, I was like, look at or his backdrop. So when I saw that, I was
Yeah.
like, all right, well, what am I when I get this? We have this conversation. Like, what am I gonna? I'm like, you know what? Screw it. I'm gonna go as me. Obviously, I'm not gonna go as I'm in stream mode. We're in two people having a conversation mode. So that's what I
Hmm.
came at. Yeah, I am always in a tank top, and I have definitely asked DLive multiple times, what's the nipple rule, and can I stream without a shirt? Because I'm very like not. I don't want the attention on my chest. I prefer. I'm a beach boy, so I prefer to be shirtless. But of course, that brings a whole different kind of world, and I'm not gonna ever try to dig that, up just so I can be shirtless. Like I would never do that.
Oh
But
yeah, I feel you. Because I have like, if I wear a tank top, you can see I'm tattooed across my chest and down my arms and all that, and I'm like that. It would definitely change the feel, I think, of my stream.
right.
But I don't know if it's. I would lean towards it would violate the community service standards if
Oh,
you
it does.
are
It
bare
does.
chested.
It does. We had I guess a talk about all, of course, because then it brings the, well, what about, the other gender that
Hmm.
wants to do it as well, or the genders that do consider themselves in certain, and I was like, yeah, you're right, and I'm not even going to touch that
Hmm.
with a 10-foot pole. There's no reason to do that, because then you have to think about who and what, and I'm like, yeah, I'm not gonna all that just to freaking feel good. I can handle wearing a tank top.
Right, and something. Let's talk about this too, because we haven't really, and I haven't in any of these. But oh, hold on. Let's see. Let's answer Chicky's question since he asked to bounce. My question for Cincy is, what got him into a love for tech and building PCs?
Sorry. Honestly, that was, I should have done it when I got out of high school. I've always been a really big like nerd. You'd be surprised. Don't let this tatted up and nice teeth and cute little face fool you. I was very nerdy and acne. I had braces for 8 years, and that was me. Like I was into the nerd tech and the IT, and
I
I
mean, the
should have.
computer behind you, you're actually building right now, right?
And I was doing it on stream, but I haven't built a PC from scratch since 2009, and I told myself, don't ruin this, all because you want to stream it. It's all about, I was like, yeah, I want to show people I can, and then when I did for a little bit, I'm like, I'm stopping, I'm gonna wait. But yeah, I enjoy hands-on type things. I'm not a good programmer. I'm not good with like so much networking. I do know a little bit of that, but the biggest thing is like built cars too, and I did that because I was interested in that. I'm good with my hands, but when it comes to nerd and tech savvy stuff, I don't know. I feel like that's such a whole big world to, with my ADD and the way I like to be labor or use my hands. That world is so much more intriguing to me because there's so much to learn and so much to do. So it's always been something interesting to
Well,
me.
something like Mix just said, man, I wish I was smart enough to build my own PC. So I would say to you, Cincy, don't be so scared about doing that, right? Like there are plenty of people who have no idea what the components of a tower would be and could
Right.
definitely use your technical advice.
Yeah, and I do plan to. I think my thing was is I was trying to do it on stream at the same time of not refreshing my memory first. So I literally started stream as
Mm.
soon as it all came in and didn't even look up. Like it's changed since 2009. I mean,
Oh,
I got
sure.
the parts in and I'm like, whoa, hold on. I remember this, but I don't remember this. And that was my big thing is before I do a PC build stream, I want to make sure that I am definitely refreshed, definitely caught up. And of course, I will definitely finish building that on stream for everybody. I can't promise you that I'll be answering questions too much because I want it to be strictly. I mean, I'll be, obviously telling you what I'm doing, but I'm not gonna so much as to teach you as I'm building it because I don't want to mess up and I want to make sure that it comes out fine.
Sure, sure. Now, before I forget, so we were talking about shirtless or not or whatever. So, tank top, obviously, you're not violating the community standards. You're covering your body, right?
Hmm.
But I would just like to say more specifically, let's not turn into other platforms where people try to use their body to gain attention, right? Like use
Right.
your mind, use your persona, use your, like intelligence. Don't rely on like cheap tricks and clickbait.
Technically, you can wear, and it's funny is because my nipples are pierced, and that's I literally got them because a buddy said he'd pay for them in 2008, and I've had them ever since. They're by no means interesting to me, and I don't even use them for any purpose other than they're just there. But it's like that. That's just like he said. Like my tattoos aren't the reason why I show them. I'm literally doing it because I'm comfortable. If I honestly, 100%, if I could be butt naked and it was okay, I would do it because it makes me comfortable, not because I want y'all to see anything. It's literally because I feel free.
Well, you would be
Exactly.
quite literally.
I feel confined in my clothes, even though I'm wearing tank top and basketball shorts. I still feel confined.
Yeah, and that
Uh,
so to make it a little bit more relatable statement to the masses, I would say like be aware that when you turn your camera on, you're transmitting yourself to the world. They can
Right.
see you, they can see everything behind you, right? Your
Yep.
dirty drawers, your unmade
Yep.
bed, the trash on the floor, right?
Yep.
The 2 months of pizza boxes. And if that's what you're trying to rock, then fine. Just know that like the world can see what's behind
And
you and
it,
you.
it's on the internet, and it may or may not be there forever. And that was the biggest thing too that I've learned over the years of streaming, excuse me, which took me a very long time to learn, is uh remember it's on the internet. Remember before you, even though it's hard for me to think before I speak, remember it can be forever seen, and it can forever ruin whatever message you're trying to send, or if it's your view. Be very very clear on all that, because yeah, unfortunately it is the internet, and it may never disappear, it may never go away.
People clip stuff and all the time, and you don't
Yeah.
know until it's been
Yeah,
clipped.
absolutely. People have recordings that people, I mean, if don't be somebody you're not just to fit in, and then it forever ruin you.
Yeah, and guys, this is something I learned on my own stream, which I'm a new streamer, never streamed before DLive. I started streaming March 1st of this year. So what, 59 days straight I've streamed. And there are people that show up in your chat on a regular basis and they don't say anything. But I had somebody say to me recently, it was the first time they ever talked, and I said, "Oh, you must be a new viewer. Welcome. This is the kind of thing that I do." And they said, "I've watched almost every single day you've streamed because I have depression and anxiety, and I live alone. And your positivity and words are inspiring and they give me hope. And I've started to go outside the house and I've started to interact with people again and I've started to feel better. And I just wanted to say thank you. And I probably won't talk much in your chat because I am very shy. Just know that I've been here the whole time and thank you." And I was like, whoa, like I'm getting a little emotional just talking about it, to be honest with you. But you don't realize, like, good or bad, your people are listening and you're affecting them in real ways.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you have to think right now. There's 35 people in here, or what, at one point was 40. How many people have we actually seen chat? Because there is a lot of people who just don't, and that's fine. I love lurkers. I mean that because the lurkers are the ones who really, really know you. They're watching. They're really, 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 intrigued. But you also have the people who love to talk, which I love too. I mean, everyone is accepted, but I feel your pain on that. Like, I've gone into a lot of channels that I didn't know follows me, or they're not always actively talking, and I'll go and follow them and send them some love, and they're like, "Yeah, I've been in your stream multiple times," and I feel so bad when I say welcome to DLive, and oh, have you really? Because it's not that I'm doing it because I'm I don't see you, or I didn't notice you at that time. It's just I don't know. I mean, it's hard for me to know what I did an hour ago.
Well, and here's something too, like Man with Machines is saying, lurkers are the backbone of your channel. Here's the
Hmm.
thing, guys. When I started watching streaming, it was 2017. I'd never even heard of streaming, didn't even know that was a thing people did, right? So then I started watching streaming. Well, I didn't chat at all for like the first year I watched streamers because I'm used to it being a screen, right, with something on it. That's entertainment. So whether it was television or movies or YouTube videos or whatever I used to watch, I would just watch it. I'm consuming entertainment, right? So not everybody is going to talk to you. So right,
Right.
like if I have your screen up or your stream up and I have it full screen, I don't even see the chat. I'm just watching you play a game. And so I might forget to chat for an hour or 2 hours. And then I say something, and then the person's like, "Oh, I didn't even know you were still here. I thought you left hours ago." And I
Hmm.
think far too many of us streamers are too quick to assume that just because somebody's not talking doesn't mean they're not fully engaged in what you're doing.
Right. And Autoworks has definitely shown me that. He A whole 8-hour stream, and he probably spoke about a handful, maybe 20 times. Uh, and he's like, "I'm still here. I'm always watching. I'm just, I'm busy." And I get that. Yeah, most people we're background noise to them, and I love that. If
Hmm.
you can put my stream on in the background and still continue your everyday things, that's amazing. Because I do that with other people, and I never thought that I would ever be that for anybody else. But it's great. I mean, I love that, and I am too. I'm most definitely a lurker. I mean, there's a lot of people that I haven't even fully talked to in their channels, but I watch them all the time.
Well, like especially with the channel like mine, where I do a lot of podcasts and conversational type streams, that's very easy to turn me on and go walk into the kitchen and make dinner or do homework or do something else and just be listening, right?
Yeah.
So if you stop talking because you think nobody's listening or nobody's interacting, you're interrupting people's entertainment.
Yeah, if like you stop or that man with machines, that's the best thing. I can't believe we didn't even touch on that. That's actually right now going through the partner Discord about are we going to get that and what do we want to do about that. And me personally, I'm in between. Because I don't know. I mean, it's like yeah, I want to know. Because at the same time, you almost feel like you're being stalked, but you're not. It's not like that.
I would
But
actually vote against it, to be honest
I
with
am
you.
honestly me too. I'm more towards against it because what I've received so far from DLive and the lurking that ability that everybody has that really keeps them literally, hidden. I love that. And then when their time is right for them to say something to you, they say something to you and then you're like, "Wow, you've really been watching," because they're like, "Oh yeah, I've been watching since such and such." And it's like, "Oh man, that feels so much better than me clicking my viewer list and seeing you sitting in here every single day that I stream and knowing that although they lurk, they've never said anything." I love it that
Hmm.
I'd love to keep it. I would love to keep it hidden. I don't want a viewer list.
The viewer list will lead to people violating the streamer lurker confidentiality agreement.
Yes, agreed.
Yeah, again, guys, if you're a streamer, there's certain expectations that you're trying to provide some sort of content, some sort of unique content to the platform. But if you're a viewer, there's basically zero expectations, right? Like streamers would have nothing to do if there weren't viewers. So
Right.
there aren't requirements. You don't have to follow, you don't have to
Nope.
subscribe, you don't have to donate, you don't have to chat.
Yep. And another thing about the lurkers, I hosted. Oh, and it doesn't really upset me, but because of my past with Twitch, I told you about the botting that somebody was doing. I hosted somebody who was new from the platform from Twitch, and they immediately said because there was a lot of lurkers. I mean, it was late. A lot of people keep me tabbed. Um, they said that they were being botted, and it was so disrespectful. And I understand that if you're coming from Twitch, and it's very strong on that platform. DLive does not. No, they know there's no such thing as botting. You can't pay for botting. There may be, that whole other, buying viewer or buying follower thing, but you're not being botted. It's just lurkers, and if they're lurking, let them lurk. That's just what they do. But don't. I mean, the botting thing is not. It's not real over here. It doesn't happen. You're not getting botted. They're not fake viewers. They're real viewers. They just might be asleep.
Well, and like to clarify with the hosting, if you're a verified partner, a global partner, I can actually put like I'm a verified partner. When I'm not streaming, I like to give other people, like my viewers, I know what they like because they like my content. So I
Right.
try to find other streamers that have similar content that maybe they've never heard of and host that channel so that these people can find new streamers who are awesome that they'll probably enjoy. But if it's a host, these people have probably never seen your content before, and they may not immediately engage in conversation because they don't know you
Right.
yet.
Right.
And you were going to run them off if you start, calling them out for lurking.
Right, and it's horrible for like yourself because I mean and I can't blame them for that either. I cannot say that that didn't cross my mind the first time, I had 15 people and only like 5 were talking. It absolutely most definitely crossed my mind about botting because it happened to me over there. It's you have to let go of it. Like I said about relationships. Don't hold your new relationship to your past relationship because that's going to burn the bridge for your new relationship. You just keep doing what you're doing. Like it's like it sucks because a lot of people do it. A lot of people are like, oh, they're bots, or even people, their friends from watching them, and oh, they're bots, they're bots. They're not. They're very shy people. They're new. Most of the people on this platform are new to streaming and never even watch streamers. So, just say hello and continue doing what you're doing.
Exactly. So guys, we've been going
Yeah,
almost
almost 3
3
hours.
hours. So I think we're going to wrap it up soon. I want to give you guys one more chance. If you have questions for myself or for Cincy specifically, now's the time to ask. Because we could just keep going and going and going, but I believe that restricting access to things drives up the demand and the value. So we're gonna make you go to Cincy's channel and watch his stream if you want more Cincy.
Yeah, I am gonna go live with Days Gone. I'm gonna finish up a little bit of that. I probably won't go into the. Well, I might. Well, what's today?
Sunday?
Today's Sunday. So yeah, I might do a little bit.
I had to think about it.
I know, I did too. I'm gonna do a little bit of Days Gone after this.
It's Joe Mama. What's up, man? Another incredible Joe.
Yes, Joe is amazing. Man, you were there last night for what he God. It was
Yeah,
amazing.
I've seen Joe work. I've seen Joe work.
God. He's funny though, man. That man, if you're not following, that is a funny guy.
Yeah, it's Joe Mama, another incredible streamer. But Joe Mama, we've been going for 3 hours, man. Where the hell have you been?
Playing Apex. I see you on Discord.
No, I'm just teasing, man. Just teasing.
Yeah.
So guys, if you've missed this interview, it's going to be on YouTube later today. All my Fireside chats, all my live podcasts that I do with other DLive streamers, author Joe Holt on YouTube. You can watch them in their entirety. I am not tech savvy. I don't have a video editing software program yet. So there's always some dead air at the beginning of these interviews with the stream starting soon screen. So if you look in the description of the videos, there's a hot link to where the interview actually starts. And you click on that, it'll take you straight to the start of the show. And when I share the link, like I'll share Cincy's video with him once I get it uploaded, the hot link I give you will start automatically where the interview starts. Just awesome. So you know, just to be helpful for folks. He was sleeping like a baby. There you go, Joe Mama. It's all right.
So was I.
We love you, brother. We love you.
Yes, we do.
So again, I will be hosting someone at the end of these chats. I always like to hit somebody up who is new to DLive or maybe is just a beautiful soul. And I want you guys to meet other beautiful people, right?
Agreed.
Because I've had people say to me, well, why don't you host somebody who's not a partner? Why don't you host somebody who's not global? Well, I do, but I don't let that affect who I choose to host. I host people who are incredible, beautiful souls, and I want you to know them because it's going to make your life richer and better, right? Not because anything for me, not because even specifically anything for that streamer, because I'm doing it for the viewers. That's how I choose who I'd like to help, right?
OMG, I've never seen these guys. Yeah, there's a band like something called Rowdy Souls. I'm gonna check them out later. Anyways,
ADD.
I know. There it goes.
I've got to tell you, you've done so well. You've done so well.
Because now I'm clicking my hands on the mouse, so I'm coming back. I'm back.
All right, and just so you know, guys, when you host somebody, did I already screw it up? I was gonna say, when you host somebody, it's not supposed to host till you're done, but it looks like that's not the case.
No, it does. It sends them right over, even if you don't in your stream.
Yeah, so I just tried it to see, and yeah, it took us straight there. So I'm going to wrap up the show, and then I'm going to host another beautiful soul. If you don't know him, get to know him. I'll tell you who in a minute. You may have just seen a quick peek. Hopefully not. But
no, actually, you didn't. It didn't take us.
Okay, good. So Cincy, if you'll hang out for me just a moment on Discord, I'm going to wrap up the show, and I'll be right back with you, my friend.
Yeah, man.
Aloha, friends. So this has been another Fireside Chat with author Joe Holt. Our special guest today has been an incredible human being. His name is Cincy. Make sure I get his name right. His first name is Casey with a C. Feel free to drop by and show him some love. He's clearly a beautiful soul. He's clearly had an incredible journey. And that's why we do these Fireside Chats. So you can get to know other streamers in a real way, right? On a personal level. We're trying to humanize this experience, right? We're not just little computers' faces in the middle of the screen. We're real people with real emotions. And because the DLive community, the way it's built, we're also generally pretty awesome human beings, right? In our real life on and off stream. So I try to highlight that when I have guests on. I try to have guests on that are just beautiful people on and off camera. And so if you know a streamer who would fit, by all means, have them contact me through direct message on Discord, any of my social media, author Joel Holt, you can contact me, and I'll get to know him, and we'll have him on. So we've got our next scheduled live podcast is this Wednesday. You know him, you love him. His name's Sean Hawk. Incredible human being. He acts, he has this court jester thing he likes to do on stream where he makes a lot of fun, but he's just a solid, intelligent, insightful, beautiful soul. I'm excited to have him on. So look for that this Wednesday. It'll be 6 p.m. UK time. He's in Ireland. It'll be 12 p.m. Central Standard Time. But again, thank you all for being here wherever you are on this planet. I love you all. I wish you all the best. And aloha for now. So stay tuned for a host. I'm sending you over to a friend of mine, and I think you'll enjoy his content. So aloha, friends. Thank you very much.